On the banks of the Ohio River, a chilly October day. A little bit of rain in the forecast, but later this afternoon should not affect the game. Cloudy with light wind here at Paul Brown Stadium. Ron Rivera's team coming off a 14-point rally against the Bears in Charlotte. And, of course, Marvin upset about the way his team played and met with each one of the players after that loss in New England and said, let's work things out this week. Let's respond the same way New England responded when they were embarrassed. Bengals won the toss and deferred. Mike Nugent to kick off. Week 6, Bengals. Panthers, division leaders is happening. Philly Brown from his own end zone. Brought down inside the 15, already a win for the hometown Bengals. Rex Burkhead on the special teams tackle. And Cam Newton will lead the offense. Picked up his 7th career game-winning drive last week that we talked about. Remember, he didn't start week 1. It ended the streak of 48 straight regular season starts.
Cam Newton was very impressive last week in the second half of that football game, throwing the football, getting it down the field. We saw some tempo. I don't know that we'll see it a whole bunch today, but it is an option for them in this offense.
Fozzie Whitaker the back with D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart inactive. First NFL carry for Whitaker, the second-year player from Texas. And on this offense, you always should be aware where Greg Olsen is, leading receiver on this team this season as he was last year.
He's been a dominant force for this Carolina offense. Expect him to be ISO'd up today. See this offensive line. They're going to have to get real creative against this Bengals defensive front. They haven't created a lot of running gaps so far this year. They'll need it today.
Ricky! Ricky!
Second and 5 from the 18. Cam is slipping a tackle and incomplete. He withstood the charge of a near sack as he gets helped up. And that defense, led by Carlos Dunlap up front, who has 3 sacks. And the big news, Vontaze Burfict returning. He's been the top tackler since he's arrived here in Cincinnati.
This defense was very porous last week against New England in the running game. They gave up 220 yards. Vontaze Burfict being back will certainly help that. Watch for these corners, Terrence Newman and Leon Hall, and their matchup with the 6'4" wide receiver rookie Kelvin Benjamin.
On third down, Bengals do like to blitz. Need to get to the 24 for a Carolina first down. Newton's throw low but hauled in for a first down. Jason Avant, and he gets across the 35-yard line.
Carolina did a good job there getting that bunch look out there on the outside. And Cam, who done a great job so far this year, staying in the pocket, not so much of a runner as he has been in the past because of that injury, standing there delivering a nice ball and a great catch there by Jason Avant.
Rookie receiver Kelvin Benjamin, top of your screen. On first down from just inside the 36. The screen to Whitaker. Brought down at the 40. Modest pickup on first down. This Panther team, they won their first 2 games of the season at Tampa and home against the Lions, then lost to the Steelers and then lost at Baltimore before that rallying win against the Bears.
They got beat up in those 2 losses against the AFC East opponents, and you know, Cincinnati, I think, is telling themselves, if we can do the same thing, if we can attack them and beat them up, we can get away with the victory here today.
You got it.
The pitch to Fozzie Whitaker, waiting for blockers. Up across the 45, near a first down. Fozzie Whitaker signed as a free agent in late July. He was waived by the Browns. He did play in 11 games for the Browns last year. Actually had a couple of starts, and he had a couple of big plays for Cleveland against Cincinnati. He's just short here, Ronnie. It's going to be 3rd and inches. And Chris Ogbonnaya comes in, also from Texas, and he also played with Cleveland last year.
He had some crucial short yardage runs last week. See if they turn around and handle the ball here.
Covers! Set!
Cam Newton falls forward with 3 tight ends in. Waiting for the signal, the official signal, and the change to move, and it is a Carolina first down. Impressive opening drive here against this Cincinnati defense.
It's a nice balanced drive so far for Carolina. A little bit of pass we've seen, getting the ball in Fozzie Whitaker's hands early, get him acclimated. He hasn't taken a snap this year till we just saw it. So see if they can keep this balance going as they march down the field here.
Whitaker checks back in. Cam Newton has it. Throws and caught by the tight end Brandon Williams. Anytime you mention tight end in Panthers, you think automatically it's going to be Greg Olsen. Williams, the third tight end behind Ed Dixon and number 88.
No longer have a fullback on this team, right? Richie Bracco went to IR. Expect a lot of Ed Dixon and Brandon Williams. They're going to have to emerge. They need another guy. He's getting his opportunity today.
Dixon had his first catches last week. They bring in 3 tight ends after the gain of 16 from the 37 of Cincinnati. Whitaker the carry straight ahead. And not much there. Well, the Bengal defense hopes to be much better than they were against New England, and having Perfect back, who takes in the defensive signals, 55-year Pro Bowl linebacker of last year, over 300 tackles in his career, an undrafted free agent who brings a lot of energy and amasses a lot of tackles.
We got a couple of good ones in this game at linebacker. We know Kuechly is in the middle, and Perfect, who plays weak side linebacker for these Bengals. They're both the standard of young linebackers in the NFL right now.
Newton's throw across the middle is called in by Greg Olsen with another first down inside the 25 of the Bengals. Olsen with 4 touchdowns already this year, and probably the best season, at least over the first early portion of his season, he's had in his career, and maybe he'll finally get to a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I think he's had these type of years before, but you look at the guys he was competing against to get to a Pro Bowl, Chris, just in his division, when Tony Gonzalez, Jimmy Graham in New Orleans, those guys just sucked up the vote. So he never got the recognition I think that he deserved. But so far this year, 28 catches now, he is showing exactly what type of player he is.
After a pickup of 12, Cam Newton wants a timeout. It'll be the first for the Panthers. There's a flag also on the field, but the timeout may have beaten the delay. That's what Ron Rivera is hollering.
Prior to the timeout request, false start, number 88 offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So not a delay, but a call against Greg Olsen. Carl Cheffers, our referee today. And now it'll be 1st and 15. First thing that has gone against the Panthers early in this opening drive. Look how much time has been consumed.
You know, we were talking to Mike Shula, their offensive coordinator, yesterday, and he said these long, time-consuming drives, we haven't had a bunch of them this year. You really can't count on them week in and week out. But start this game. They got one going now. Very efficient drive so far.
Hand off Whitaker, and he is flung to the ground right around the 30. Carlos Dunlap just wouldn't let him go.
Carlos Dunlap's had a strong start to his 2014 season. First 3 weeks of the season, he had a sack. But what's impressive to me is how he's been in the run game. And you see him here, just manhandling his tackle there, sheds him and comes off with a nice tackle on Fozzie Whitaker.
So on 2nd and 16, he's yet to target. Cam Newton has Kelvin Benjamin, bottom of your screen. Looks one way, throws the other. Screen set up to Jason Avant. And it'll bring up 3rd down for Carolina. Reggie Nelson, the one-time Florida Gator, and in Jacksonville making the stop for Cincinnati. Very talented secondary with Terrence Newman and Leon Hall at the corners. Adam Jones part of that as well. Darren Reeves checks in at running back. Good in pass protection. Rookie from Alabama, Birmingham on 3rd and 13. for Cam Newton. He's on the run. And throwing it sideline, caught inside the 20 by Jason Avant, and there's a flag down. Not good enough for the first down. Actually, 2 flags. Carl Cheffers has called, this referee group has called the most penalties of any group so far this season in the NFL. These 2 teams are 2 of the least penalized teams coming into this game.
Now where that first flag is, you got to think that it's illegal contact down the field, sitting down there in the secondary.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 23 defense. That penalty's declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 55 defense for unnecessarily contacting the quarterback after the pass was thrown. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Perfect saying it wasn't me, but let's look at the secondary call first, which was declined on Terrence Newman.
It's Terrence Newman, and I mean that's pass interference. And I know you were.
But what about the call on Burfict?
The call on Burfict, though, yeah. I mean, there's 2 or 3 steps. It's a little iffy, if you ask me.
It looked like trying to avoid.
It looked like he was trying to avoid him. Cam was going to the ground as he released that football, and you can imagine how it looked. I don't think that was the wrong call there, Chris.
Yeah, let's be honest. On first down, Darren Reeves. It's now 2nd and goal inside the 5. So a rotation so far in this first drive. As Burfict said, I didn't do it. I tried to stay out of his way. But Fozzie Whitaker, Darren Reeves, and Chris Obadiah carrying the running load with Cam Newton in this drive. And Newton's 6 out of 7, but the big penalty helped set up the Panthers at the 4-yard line.
Take a look at this hit and see if we can find out why this is, and maybe lowering the head there.
Or maybe the extra step.
The extra step, yeah, it's borderline at most, but would have been a first down anyways with the pass interference on Terrence Newman.
Hand off, Darren Reeves, and the Bengals are there. This will be the 15th play of the drive on 3rd and goal. They have taken the opening kick as Ray Maluga makes the stop and marched all the way inside the 5 of Cincinnati.
Yeah, very efficient drive here, and they've done a lot of it through the air so far, Chris. The running defense, which was porous last week, as we mentioned, been pretty solid. 2 runs down here in the red zone, and they've stepped up. They got a 3rd down and short. See if they can do it again.
Newton throws, Calvin Benjamin, touchdown, Carolina. He held on after a tough hit. Boy, talk about putting your signature on that drive, and as is his custom homer away, Cam looks for a Panther fan and hands off a souvenir.
Calvin Benjamin down here all by himself, and just a quick little slant, but impressive that he's able to hold on to that ball. That was a violent hit by George Iluka.
4th touchdown catch of the rookie season for Calvin Benjamin, taken in the 1st round from Florida State. And here comes Graham Gano. That drive covered more than 9 minutes, 86 yards. 15 plays. And we got a whistle here. And a flag.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 64 offense. 5-yard penalty. We'll replay the try from the 7-yard line.
So making one of the more mundane plays in all of the NFL, the extra point, just a little more interesting.
It's not quite the 32-yard field goal that we experimented with in the preseason, but yes.
Tried that for a couple of games. It made it a little bit more interesting. So Gano gives the Panthers a 7-0 lead. It's a battle of division leaders, and the opening drive finishes with Cam Newton to Calvin Benjamin, and touchdown Panthers. With Rondé Barber, Chris Myers here in Cincinnati, and Calvin Benjamin with the touchdown catch, tying, equaling the longest drive, more than 9 minutes that the Panthers have had all year. They're coming off their highest point total of the season, the 31 they scored against the Bears. Now Graham Gano, who last year led the NFL, 80% touchback rate, hitting at 79% this year. Brandon Tate scoops it at the 2 for the Bengals. And there's room for Tate, who's hit hard across the 30-yard line. Excellent return. Charles Godfrey makes the stop. And Andy Dalton will lead the Bengal offense, trailing here at home. Coming up, A.J. Green, who since he's joined this team has accounted for more than 30% of the offense, but inactive today with a toe injury, standing on the sideline watching.
I'm not a doctor. I don't want to be one. Didn't stay at Holiday Inn Express, but I was in with that toe. I don't know if I'd be standing down there.
From the 31, Dalton's throw caught by Jermaine Gresham at the 35. Let's get a game break. Check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Baltimore Ravens off to a hot start. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Both Joe Flacco and Torrey Smith got me for 9 yards, and they're up quickly 14-0. Chris, Rondé, and Jed.
Thanks, Kurt, and the Bengals, who defeated Baltimore this year, got off to 3 straight wins before the loss on Sunday night. Giovanni Bernard with the carry. It'll be 3rd down. And for Dalton, his 53rd start in the NFL. Got the big contract extension this year. And 3 straight trips to the playoffs. And Cincinnati fans will talk about when they're going to win a playoff game with Dalton. But he's done what he's had to do for this offense that lost its coordinator, just like its defense, off of the playoff team from last year.
You got a nibble out there. 59, orange. Yeah.
On 3rd and 4, fires that pass, and it's caught for a 1st down into Carolina territory. Brandon Tate, who got the start in place of A.J. Green, also had the 29-yard kickoff return to set up the Bengals, who are quickly on the move, and we will see a lot of Giovanni Bernard not only running but catching in this game.
Don't be surprised if we see him split out in the slot some as a receiver. See this O-line, they got a rookie, Russell Bodine there starting it. Center's got a tough test against these big tackles of Carolina.
After a gain of 16, Bernard waiting for room. Gets inside the 45-yard line. The Carolina defense, Charles Johnson last week had his first sack of the season. We've already talked about Luke Kuechly. Played at Boston College, but grew up in Cincinnati. He's from here, St. Xavier High School, quite a star, and has his own rooting section, and actually worked out in the offseason with a number of Bengals here, hoping to lead the Carolina defense today.
Move, everyone. Yes. Move. Yeah. You out. Come on, Russ. Let's go.
Dalton from the pocket, floats one nowhere. It'll be 3rd down. Good pressure from K'Wan Short.
Immediate pressure there by K'Wan Short. And that one of those play-action plays, to call it a G-pass, when you start out towards one way, you kind of boot, shorten the boot, and then stay in the pocket. But K'Wan Short was right in his face. He's been, to me, Chris, the most dominant defensive lineman for Carolina so far this year. His constant pressure, he showed it right there.
Need to get to the 37 of Carolina here on 3rd down.
Hey, go to 59. Go to 59. Lead. Let's go.
Dalton's throw. Dane Sanzenbacher has a 1st down inside the 30 of the Panthers. Nickelback Charles Godfrey making the tackle.
This is one of those, watch both of these, all these outs go out here, and then Sanzenbacher flips his hips and comes right back inside. Just double moves. That's a nice little pivot and a catch. Run after a catch. We asking who's going to step up for A.J. Green. It's going to be a combination of all these guys that we've seen so far.
A former Ohio State Buckeye. Bernard. It'll be 2nd down. Thomas Davis came back to play against Chicago and has been bothered by an elbow injury. Involved in on the tackle for Carolina.
This defense is a lot better when Thomas Davis is in the lineup. When you watch that Baltimore game, there was a significant drop in play in that unit. And Coach told us, Ron Rivera told us, Luke Kuechly actually tried to do too much in his absence. So it's nice that he's back and healthy today.
Dalton, sideline throw through the hands of Mohamed Sanu.
catchable ball. Mohamed Sanu, who will get a lot of the looks today. He's had a good season so far, but he's got to come down with this ball. His quarterback put it right where he needed to, out on the outside. Tight spiral. Setting up now a third and much longer than it should have been.
Hey, flip will go to 58. Flip will go to 58. Lady! Legs up!
Dalton quickly completes, and he's got the first down. That's Gresham again. Inside the 17-yard line. Remember, Tyler Eifert, the injured elbow, is out until week 10. No Marvin Jones and no A.J. Green.
This Cincinnati Bengals offense was pathetic last week on third down. They were 0 for 7. Today, two crucial third down conversions there, once by Sansabacher and now by Jermaine Gresham. Carolina, to their credit, tried playing man, didn't win. Right there, tried playing zone. They found an area, and Andy Dalton, who's been very efficient this year, found the right target.
Giovanni Bernard, some tough running, meeting head-on before Roman Harper stops him down around the 13-yard line. Now, total autonomy for Andy Dalton in this offense. Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator, has stepped up, says you pretty much, Andy can handle anything, and we're hearing it from the line.
You can't hear him, and he's taking calls in from the coach now, but see, they get in this, not a hurry up, but just at the line of scrimmage making calls, and Andy Dalton, who's very cerebral. When you talk to him, you know he has this grasp of this entire offense, and he's doing that right now.
Second down 6. They fake it and hand it inside to Bernard. Wes Horton makes the stop, and that's part of what you have to prepare for, the number of gadget or gimmick plays that this offense can pull off.
We haven't seen a true gadget yet from Hugh Jackson. We know that it's in there from offensive coordinator Hugh Jackson. We know that it's in there. That sheet, that thing's probably got 20 of them on there. We don't know when they're going to show up, but guaranteed they will at some point.
So 3 for 3 on third down for Cincinnati in this drive. Their first possession, and they face a third down here. Jeremy Hill checks in at running back.
59.
Dalton fires low, but it's caught at the 5. That's Mohamed Sanu. He hauls it in. And good enough for the first down.
That was a nice catch there. Andy Dalton put the ball down low. Mohamed Sanu, great catch for the first down.
Panthers score on their first possession. The Bengals are trying to respond. They are on the move at the end of the first quarter in Cincinnati. Carolina leads Cincinnati 7-0 on Fox. Monday Barber, Jen Hale, Chris Myers. The NFL on Fox. We welcome you back to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Jeremy Hill on first and goal. And goes down to the 5-yard line. Luke Kuechly on the tackle. Some equipment going flying there. The red zone defense, shockingly for the Panthers, last in the NFL. These are just early numbers, but they were best in the NFL in this category last year.
Yeah, they've been really bad in the red zone so far this year. It's uncharacteristic of a Ron Rivera coach team, but see if Andy Dalton doesn't find one of these matchups outside.
Brandon Tate takes the pass. Brandon Tate is in the end zone, and touchdown Bengals.
I wouldn't call that a trick play, but that was a very well-designed play there by Hugh Jackson. Andy Dalton executed. He gets a block. You see Brandon Tate gets a block out there by Mohamed Sanu. Melvin White, who was in man-to-man coverage out there trying to react, but Antoine Cason, coming from the other side of the field, just wasn't quick enough to keep up with his man.
Brandon Tate, who played his college football in North Carolina, gets his first touchdown of this season on the flip from Andy Dalton. And you said it, who's going to pick up the slack for A.J. Green being out? Well, everybody has on this drive.
Not very often, Chris. You get a quarter of football. We only have 2 drives. 2 long, sustained, well-executed drives by both teams.
Officiating crew confirms the touchdown. You saw breaking the plane with the football for Tate. And Nugent with the extra point. 2 3-win teams, 2 long drives, 2 touchdowns. We're tied at 7. We welcome you back here in Cincinnati, Ohio, at Paul Brown Stadium. The fast-moving first quarter, capped by the touchdown catch. Brandon Tate, Mohamed Sanu helping in the drive as Dan Nugent gets ready to kick off. Mike Nugent, excuse me. And Philly Brown, who had a punt return for a touchdown off the fumble last week. He's back to receive. And has it. He's bringing it out of the end zone. Philly Brown with a return up across the 30-yard line. A return of 33 yards. Bengals have scored. Panthers have the football. Just down the road from where the Reds play. Tonight, game 2 of the NLCS. Giants trying to take a 2-0 lead. Cardinals trying to even things before hitting the road. Coverage after football on Fox Sports 1. That's Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Bengals offense looked pretty good without their home run hitter on that last drive. We'll watch Carolina and Cam Newton see if they can respond here.
From the 31, Fozzie Whitaker with a solid gain on first down. The last time they had the ball, they equaled their longest drive in number of plays, 15, but it was their longest drive in terms of time of the season, 9 minutes and 15 seconds.
Fozzie Whitaker looks really spry to me, Chris. His legs are turning, looks quick and fast. There's Jonathan Stewart on the sideline. Came out and worked out. We saw him on the field this morning. See if he could go. It was a game-time decision. He's just not ready.
They hope next week. D'Angelo Williams about 2 weeks away. Whitaker just short of the 40, so it will be 3rd down and short.
Here we go. This is us filming him earlier today. Note the size of that bandage on his knee, and he did a lot of ladder work. He did some running. He wasn't gimping at all, but you could tell he wasn't the Jonathan Stewart that we all know, and you got to wonder if he was going to be able to take a hit on that knee.
3rd and 1 for the Carolina Panthers. Linebacker Vontaze Burfict, the injured player, had to leave the field.
And you see there, there's clearly a helmet contact. He missed 2 games with the concussion. We can only think, we can't speculate, but you can only think that that was an effect of that.
Was hurt against Baltimore, played 58 snaps coming in. On 3rd and short, Benjamin with the catch and lunges forward. Adam Jones and his hands on him.
This looks to be short of the first down here, Chris, but a lot of credit there to Adam Jones. That's a tough situation for any corner to be in. He made a great tackle there on Kelvin Benjamin with nobody else around there.
Given the situation, Riverboat Ron, also Analytics Ron, playing percentages too early in this game to gamble.
Yeah, way too early in this game. You're on your minus 41-yard line here. You got to kick this away. Go play defense. Smart move, even though it's 4th and inches.
Benjamin at 6'5", you would have thought could have lunged for that first down, but as you said, a good defensive play. Brandon Tate waving everybody away from the Northland punt. Down just across the 22-yard line. We're tied at 7 here in Cincinnati. A late flag after the punt. Let's check with referee Carl Cheffers.
Number 21 of the receiving team contacted an opponent inbounds and continued to drive him out of bounds. That's an unnecessary roughness on number 21. That penalty was enforced half the distance to the goal. First down, Cincinnati.
Darquez Denard called for the infraction. And now from the 11-yard line, Cincinnati takes over on offense.
Perfect. You see him walking to the sideline or into the locker room here. Got to worry about the repeated effects of blows to the head and having suffered that concussion. I'm sure this is a precaution.
Giovanni Bernard slips through. There goes Bernard. Giovanni Bernard all the way for a touchdown. 89 yards.
Wow, Chris. This Carolina defense just isn't the same for some reason this season as it was last year, but Hugh Jackson was imploring his team to get some explosive runs. Nothing really over 10 yards this entire year, and there, Giovanni Bernard. Home run. We ask for home runs. We've mentioned it a number of times today. And there's one there. Nice stiff arm in the hole. Jumping out of the would-be tackle of Thomas DeQ. Big play.
He came into this game looking for his first 20-yard rush of the season. 89 yards to give the Bengals the lead, and Mike Nugent for the extra point. Man, did he show some speed on that once he got loose. The 5'9" second-year player from North Carolina tumbles in the jungle. We welcome you back at Cincinnati with Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, Jennifer Hale on the field. A couple of division leaders, and nothing will light up a crowd like a run like that from Giovanni Bernard.
Well, this team hasn't lost a game here in, what, 11 tries? So, you get an offense that's doing what they're doing now. The long, methodical drive to start the game, and then an explosive run by Giovanni Bernard. This crowd's into it.
At 89 yards, longest of his career, and the second longest in Bengal history. Corey Dillon had a 96-yard touchdown run in 2001 at Detroit. And you talk about 11 consecutive regular season home wins for this Cincinnati team. That's a franchise record. They're hoping to add to that today against the Panthers. Mike Nugent to kick it off. Billy Brown, a nice return last time, up across the 30. A few yards deep, and he's coming out again. And this time the Bengals stop him short of the 20-yard line. Carolina, will see how they respond after Bernard went from one end to the other for 6. Vontaze Burfict with 3 tackles in the game, who left with an injury, back on the sideline after going to the locker room. On first down, Cam Newton quickly has to get rid of it. George Iloka put on the pressure.
Take a look at this. Look at this guy here, Charles Johnson in there, and Roman Harper. Coach Ron Rivera told us that they have to focus on gap control. Look at these guys. Stop it right there. They're both in the same gap. Charles Johnson clearly needed to be under Gresham there. And in that cutback run, some missed tackles. And this gap gets nice and cozy for Giovanni Bernard, who coincidentally is on my Fox Football Uncensored censored fantasy team. So thank you, Gio. Appreciate that.
The Panthers would love to censor that run. We got a timeout here. Carolina on 2nd and 10. It looked like Vontaze Burfict was headed back onto the field to play with 11:41 to go before the half. Let's check in with Jennifer Hale for an update on Burfict.
Well, Chris, Vontaze Burfict, this training staff was extremely careful with him. They did bring him back in the locker room to put him through several tests, given the 2 earlier concussions he had this season. But those tests have come back negative, and now he's back and is begging for action, Chris.
All right, thank you, Jen. And 2 linebackers in this game, Burfict and Kuechly, who both have, since coming into the league, dominated in the tackle department.
Yeah, he's back on the field now, and not sure how they ran those tests that quickly, but knowing Vontaze Burfict, having already missed 2 games, he wants to play. He's back out there now.
On 2nd down, Cam Newton's pass caught, but Greg Olsen is well short. It'll be 3rd down. It's interesting, the Bengals have allowed the 3rd most receiving yards by a tight end so far past the first quarter of this season, and obviously with a guy like Greg Olsen, the Panthers want to take advantage.
That stat is clearly skewed by their performance last week against Gronkowski and Tim Wright in New England. They just absolutely dominated them on the 2nd level, and talked about doing it better this week. So far they have. Greg Olsen has yet to get off as he normally does.
On 3rd and 5, Fozzie Whitaker has a first down. Up near the 45, passing 46 of Carolina. 2nd-year player for Texas, who Ron Rivera said he can catch, he can run, he can do all the things we need.
Again, this was great patience here by Cam Newton. I know he's in his 4th year, and he's come a long way, man. Staying in the pocket, going through his reads. You see him look left, right, not looking to scramble like some people think Cam should do more. Finds his check down, gets a much-needed first down there.
A gain of 23. Cam Newton still wearing that protective shirt underneath for the rib, which really is more towards his back. And remember the ankle surgery in the offseason. Fires this for Benjamin, who's got it. 46 of Cincinnati. Perfect right there. And there's the undergarment that you tried on that he says feels comfortable. Looks like there's a
there was a late flag that came in there into that pile. Now, Kelvin Benjamin took a pretty nice shot there after he caught this ball. It may have been Vontaze Burfict.
And remember, Benjamin took quite a shot when he hauled in the touchdown pass in the end zone and held on.
That's a violent collision there.
There's no helmet-to-helmet that we could see. No throwing the player.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 55 defense. For illegal contact to a defenseless receiver. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Benjamin looks rattled, and he can't lower the helmet, which is maybe what Burfict did, but that's 2 calls on him already in this game that have been big.
Marvin Lewis told us that gotta keep him calm. You know, he's anxious. He wants to play. We know what kind of guy he is. He's energetic. He's the you know the heart and soul of this Cincinnati defense. But he's got to be smart. Can't lower his head. Gonna get the penalty. That's the second one, as you mentioned.
Brenton Burson comes in for Benjamin, who looks shaken up. The number 1 pick, so the Panthers want to protect their star receiver all the way to the 31 of Cincinnati after the penalty. Whitaker the carry, and he'll lose yards. In quickly to make the stop. Emmanuel Lemure, who leads the team in tackles this season.
Carolina's run this play at least 3 times, or a derivative of this play at least 3 times. A tight end will motion out, motion back in, but Emmanuel Lemure made a great little play here, running through this. See Greg Olsen there. It's coming to crack Wallace Gilberry, but Jason Avant's got to block the linebacker, and he just runs right through his attempt for a big tackle for loss.
Loss of 5.
Hey, lefty long! Lefty long!
Cam Newton, throw, caught. Brenton Burson, going to keep his feet in. Yes, says the official. The Wofford College product, a free agent who's from Charlotte. Kind of a fan favorite who's been up with the team. Here comes Kelvin Benjamin, the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month for September.
Check his feet there. Yeah, man. Nice catch.
Third and 5. Pressure coming, passes low, and what a hit! Jericho Cotchery couldn't go anywhere after making the catch. The veteran Terrence Newman smothered him.
The seasoned Terrence Newman, 36 years of age, still doing it out there in this Bengals defense. This is the definition of a form tackle here. He's reading it all the way. Nice catch to go get it, but there you go. That's how you play team defense.
Oldest active corner in the league at 36. Terrence Newman said, I feel like I'm 26. Graham Gano to try from 43. He's made 8 in a row. And this one, make it 9 in a row. There's a flag down. Hold on.
Holding number 96 defense. Pulling an opponent out of the way and allowing his teammate to shoot the gap. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
That is a very rare penalty there, Chris.
On Carlos Dunlap is the number given. And it'll give him a first down.
But this happens quite a bit. He's in the middle of the screen right here. See him trying to pull pull the guard or tackler out of the way. So Marcus Hunt, who is all of 6'9", and blocked a whole bunch of kicks in college. See if he can get an opportunity there to block the kick, but it is a penalty. It was pretty blatant.
Puts the ball at the 20, so 3 off the board for the Panthers. They have a chance to get 7 and tie this game.
See Greg Olsen soloed up here. They like to get him the ball in that situation.
3 wide receivers. He goes for the tight end, and incomplete for Greg Olsen. Cam Newton has thrown a touchdown, passed for over 100 yards, 13 out of 16 so far in this game. 7:38 remaining here in the second quarter.
5-8, single, 5-8. Hey, 5-5.
Cam Newton keeps it, and the Bengals bring him down just short of the 15-yard line. Ray Maluga stopped his first rushing attempt. You know, last year he averaged about 7 carries a game. It's been only about 3 in the early portion of this season.
Some of those were kneel downs at the end of the game. They count them as carries, but we know about his injury. We know about the ribs and the ankle. And last year, I think they were trying to get him out of that, but I think they realized, and offensive coordinator Mike Shula will tell you this, that him being a runner is an integral part of this offense, and he have to give him the opportunities. Plus, it keeps the defense honest.
Here comes a flag.
False start, number 70, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
It's on the rookie Trey Turner, and give the Cincinnati Bengal jungle crowd an assist on that. Although the Panthers are pointing across at the Bengals. Spotted at the 21. It'll be 3rd and 10. Cam Newton from the 29, underneath, incomplete. Off the fingertips of Cottrell.
Nice response by the Cincinnati Bengals defense there, getting 3 more downs after that penalty and still holding them to a field goal attempt here. Nowhere for Cam to go with that ball. He gets off the field.
So he made good earlier, but they took that off the board to go for more. And now a 39-yard try for Graham Gano to cut the Cincinnati lead to 4. Gano is good. And the Bengals lead 14-10 with 6:20 remaining in the half. With Rondé Barber, Chris Myers here in Cincinnati. Hope you're enjoying the NFL on Fox. Cincinnati with a 4-point lead and back to receive the kick. Graham Gano, Brandon Tate, who has the touchdown catch for Cincinnati to go along with a Giovanni Bernard 89-yard touchdown run. No chance on this one. And we mentioned that Luke Kuechly is from Cincinnati, Ohio. St. Xavier High School, where he was a stud. In fact, Mike Odioso was one of the teachers. He said he had great penmanship. And he was a bad football player. Won the state title here as a junior. Also played varsity lacrosse. Played with Marvin Lewis's son, Marcus, on a summer lacrosse team. And his first game back here in Cincinnati as a pro player, and keeping up with the Kuechly's, more than 100 fans. Mom, dad, relatives from the area in attendance. That's on first down. Spun down is Gresham across the 25-yard line. Last two possessions for Cincinnati. 14 plays, touchdown, 1 play touchdown.
Yeah, it's time for this Carolina defense to step up and reassume who they're going to be. We have not seen it in a couple of games here.
Jeremy Hill, the rookie from LSU, gets the carry. Let's get a game break. Say hi to Joel Klatt. Joel?
Hey, Chris, let's go to Cleveland, where Brian Hoyer and the Browns just keep on rolling. Jordan Cameron, 51-yard TD catch from Hoyer, first of the season. 14-3 Browns over the Steelers. Chris, Rondé, and Jen.
And thank you, Joel. In that AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens are winning 38-0 in the second quarter over Tampa Bay. And Cleveland up on the Steelers in the second quarter.
Wait! It's hot! Hey, go to 58. Go to 58. Go to 58. Wait! Counter. It's up!
On 3rd and 2, Dalton's pass is caught. And on the loose is Mohamed Sanu. Inside the 40 of Carolina.
Cincinnati was now 5 for 5 on 3rd downs. And Andy Dalton.
Illegal shift. Offense. 2 players were in motion and did not set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
We missed that flag that was on the field there, but I think Jermaine Gresham and Mohamed Sanu were both moving right before the snap there, and they weren't set long enough before the snap of the ball.
5th penalty accepted against the Bengals and Marvin Lewis's team. 3 on Carolina, and they've been big. A couple of defensive penalties, and this wipes out a monster game.
Carolina's tried to play man on a lot of 3rd downs. They're going to try to drop back in zone here on this 3rd and 8.
Giovanni Bernard in it as a running back, but Sanu reaching across the 30. Godfrey, the nickelback, was with him. There's the spot. He didn't get it. The officials are saying it's 4th down.
And you can hear them saying they should challenge the spot if he thinks he's wrong.
Well, the reach of Sanu at 6'2" may have gotten it. Remember, that's just superimposed. That yellow is not absolutely official here. But according to that, at that angle.
Well, from our perspective.
The ruling on the field, therefore, is a 1st down.
All right, so they reversed without a review. Took a closer look, and they used the chains, and I think that's what the officiating crew should do, is communicate with each other. And, of course, they have the headsets to do that over the noise as well. Although Ron Rivera is going to challenge that. We might have a reversal of a reversal.
Reversal. I think this is a good challenge, too. I mean, the original spot was just short of the 30-yard line. That one was over. When we come back, we'll find out.
Ruling on the field, well, let's listen to Carl Jeffers after reviewing what was 1st down, challenged by Ron Rivera and the Panthers.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. 1st down.
We have our rules analyst, Mike Pereira, former head of officials, watching closely, will help us understand. Mike, you're always watching everything with all of us. How about this?
I'm watching good positioning by Marvin Lewis. First of all, you get this shot.
Yep.
Looks like the right knee is down, but he lunges and he's got the ball to the 1st down line. But that down the line shot that we had, Marvin Lewis was right in the way, so you couldn't really get a clear look, but they had nothing to overturn it.
All right, thank you, Mike Pereira. The best there is, the original rules analyst for network broadcast here is Bernard Carey's, and a break for Cincinnati and a lost challenge and timeout by Carolina.
The one and only. Mike won't mind you saying that.
Yeah, I know. He likes to. He's also the best dressed rules analyst, right? We didn't get to see him on camera, but we will, I'm sure, at some point throughout the afternoon as you watch the NFL on Fox. On 2nd and 6, quick pass. That's Tate. Slips up across the 40, stays in bounds. Things getting a little chippy down here. And he did get the first down.
There's got to be some level of frustration setting in for Carolina on defense right now. Nothing they seem to do works, whether they're playing zone, whether they try to get in man. Andy Dalton has been literally picking these guys apart, changing plays at the line of scrimmage. You talked about his autonomy. He can make the right call, and he's done it to perfection so far today.
On first down, Dalton with time. Has to go underneath. Knocked down across the 42 is Bernard by Luke Kuechly. Coming into the game, Dalton led the NFL in yards per completion, 13 plus. They've done a pretty good job on keeping his throws underneath, and his quick release, at least in terms of measured time-wise, from the snap of the ball to when he throws it. The average in the NFL is 2.56 seconds, and he's the best, slightly ahead of Peyton and Eli.
You're counting pennies there with the release, but he is very good at it.
Bernard works his way through a crowd across the 45-yard line. It'll bring up third down as we near the 2-minute warning. Luke Kuechly with 3 tackles so far in the game.
It really hasn't been that X factor that we normally see. Tackles in the backfield, those game-changing type plays. I know it's early in the football game, and trust me, I've seen this guy make a million of them. Hasn't had the impact quite yet.
In that secondary without Benet Ben-Wickery and Josh Norman, both inactive today for the Panthers. We have reached the 2-minute warning here in Cincinnati. Bengals leading Carolina. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. 5 for 5 on third down. That's what they're facing here.
58.
Dalton well protected, perfectly thrown for a first down. It's Gresham again. Down to the 32 of Carolina. 4th catch of the game for the tight end from Oklahoma.
Really good combination route right here. You see Jermaine Gresham fall in. Kuechly should be falling back there, but Mohamed Sanu in front of him, drew his eyes up. Ball came in behind him to Gresham.
Dalton over 100 yards. Dumps it underneath at the 30 to Giovanni Bernard. Kuechly, you can hear the fans chanting as he made the stop a couple of plays ago. 15 tackles last week against Chicago, and it looks like he's worried about that thumb.
Well, he had some functioning dysfunction on that brace. He just picks it up and back out there.
Here comes a flag as Bernard carries. Giovanni Bernard, his first career 100-yard game. 8 carries over 100 yards, pending this one.
Illegal motion. Number 84 was moving forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
That call on Jermaine Gresham.
Go back to these third downs. They're 6 for 6 today. Yes, last week against New England, Cincinnati was 0 for 7. I mean, they haven't been great before that game. They were only around 35%. I think they're 29 coming into this game. But Carolina's got to get a stop. I know they've been struggling stopping the run today. They got to get off on third down when they get the opportunities.
Jeremy Hill in the backfield. Pressure on Dalton. And he slings it as he's going to the ground. And they did not rule him down. So they're going to make the catch. It's Jeremy Hill. He got the football to Cincinnati uses a timeout.
Who knew Andy Dalton was this strong? Be able to take 280, 90-pound guy there and shuck him off and get rid of this ball. We mentioned it, but this Cincinnati defense or offense has only given up 1 sack all season. Little Brett Favre-ish move there, finding a way to get the ball to his outlet.
He's 13 out of 15. Every year he's improved in passing yards, touchdown passes, and passer rating. Each season he's gotten better. And in this game, look how sharp he's been when he's needed to be. 13 out of 15, 104 yards, and the touchdown toss.
This Carolina defense hasn't been good all season on third downs, giving up around 47% of the opportunities. That's just too much for a defense that this team is counting on to get them off the football field.
So he saved the loss, but it is third down. And that's Jeremy Hill trying to get the first down. And swinging in to bring him down is Luke Kuechly.
We were looking for an impact play from Luke Kuechly, and there's finally one. Coming out of the middle of nowhere to come down and make this tackle. Looked like Hill was going to find his way towards that first down marker, but you need a super play. 59 and Carolina is the one that's going to make it.
On fourth down, Mike Nugent will come on to try a 45-yard field goal here with time running down before the half. They don't want to give Carolina any time. And the Bengals will use a timeout. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we've got all your early highlights, including Peyton Manning off to a slow start for the Broncos against the Jets, and Joe Flacco off to a crazy hot start in Tampa Bay. It all comes your way as we get started when we come back with the Visa Halftime.
Thank you, Kurt. And in the AFC North, the Bengals, your division leader. Cleveland leads Pittsburgh 21-3 late second quarter. Baltimore and Tampa Bay with a 38-0 lead. And if you're a Carolina Panther fan, you come in your team leading the NFC South. Atlanta plays later against the Bears. The Saints have the weekend off their bye week. Jimmy Graham, unfortunate news, he may miss a few more weeks. The tight end of New Orleans. Spotted as a 44-yard try for Nugent. The home crowd tells you the Bengals extend their lead. It's back to 7 with 3 seconds remaining. Checking down on the field with Jennifer.
It's on the other side, so we'll have plenty of time.
We'll check back in with Jennifer later, who, if you saw at the start of our broadcast, was with the Kuechly crowd in the stands, 100 plus. Tough when you're from Cincinnati. He said he kind of grew up a Bengals fan. You go away to Boston College, but he's friends with a lot of the folks here. And he's had a great start in his career with the Panthers. His first game back here playing against his hometown team.
Came back, lived in his parents' basement during the summer, worked out with some of these Bengals. Ray Maluga, Vincent Ray, Terrence Newman, all these guys got together and they were working out.
And in the Pro Bowl, got to know Burfict a little better, Fontes. And since Kuechly came into the league, most tackles, more than anybody, a tackling machine. There's Fontes Burfict, who was out briefly and came back in for the Bengals. Each team had the ball once in the first quarter on long touchdown drives. Bengals will get the ball to start the second half as they kick it to Philly Brown. And week 6, both teams after their 4th win of the season. And the Bengals with that 17-10 lead at the half. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee and the guys in Los Angeles for the Visa Halftime Report. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Bengals getting ready to receive the second half kickoff with a 17-10 lead. Giovanni Bernard over 100 yards. He had the 89-yard touchdown dash. Division leaders clashing, each aiming for their 4th win. And it looks like if Carolina's going to pull this thing out, it's going to have to come on the arm of Cam Newton.
It is, and that's been their formula. You know, this team talks about being ball control, but they haven't been able to run the football at all. Part of being a ball control offense is being able to get off the field on defense. They haven't been able to do that so far today. So they're going to have to shore up some areas on the defensive side of the ball, and then I think they're going to have to establish a run game, which they haven't been able to do all season.
The last 10 games that the Bengals have led at the half, they have gone on to win, and obviously you know about 11 straight regular season home wins. So to protect a 7-point lead and getting the football, what do you expect?
They're going to do exactly what they've been doing. You know, they've been very efficient so far. Andy Dalton has been as crisp as I've seen him. Their defense has done enough to keep this Carolina offense at bay in the second quarter. See if they can get more of that in the second half of this football game.
The touchdowns in the game, each team has added a field goal. And the opening drive, 9 minutes, 15 seconds. Kelvin Benjamin hangs on from Cam Newton. And then Brandon Tate from Dalton. And then, of course, Bernard.
Yeah, 2 methodical drives to start the game for both offenses. And then the real big explosive play by Giovanni Bernard, helping my Fox Fantasy Uncensored team. You got to love it.
And Luke Kuechly with 5 tackles in the game. Montez Burfict, who is back after a couple of concussions. Remember, he went out against Baltimore and had to lead this game for a brief moment. He has 4 tackles. Both have been a force. But the third down conversions, the Bengals 6 out of 7, and Carolina 4 out of 8.
Other than that big run by Giovanni Bernard, too, they've only got about 20 yards rushing, but obviously you can't take that off the board. Carolina's defense, which is coming out on the field now, has to get back to gap control defense. When we saw them early in the year, we talked about them being the most dominant front in football. They haven't been that in the past 3 weeks, and they're going to have to reestablish that here in the second half.
And as Marvin Lewis said after the embarrassment of Sunday night in primetime, the way New England responded, everybody was on their case. They had a bad game. I want our team to do the same thing. He met with some of the leaders of the team right away after that game. They went over things, talked about it, and they've come out at least with a halftime lead at home, and that's good if you look at the historical data for this football team. Gano drives it into the end zone, and they'll take it on the 20-yard line where Andy Dalton and the offense will take over with that 7-point lead. And let's check in down on the field again with Jennifer Hay.
Well, Chris, Marvin Lewis is pleased with the score, but displeased with the number of penalties. He gave a pep talk to Montez Burfict just before halftime, encouraging him to settle down, take a deep breath, and not be so anxious. Meanwhile, Ron Rivera hopes to get his offense going, especially Cam Newton's passing game, by going more up-tempo this half. However, they're going to have to do it without the help of left guard Amini Silatolo. He is now out with a left calf injury, Chris.
Thank you, Jen. From the 20 on first down. Dalton sets and it's hit hard. There's a flag in the secondary. Charles Johnson hit Dalton and it was ruled incomplete.
Well, the flag is Anton Kaysen.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 20 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Sean McDermott dialed up a blitz to start this second half, and Kaysen's just beat at the line of scrimmage and grabbing on the play. That wasn't even the 5-yard variety. That was oh man, I got nobody to help me here with all these guys committed to the blitz, so I'm just holding on.
Man.
Where you at? Waiting!
First down from the 25. Giovanni Bernard. And the Panthers defense does an excellent job to bottle him up. Maybe a gain of a yard for the game's leading rusher. Jermaine Gresham has 4 catches to lead the Bengal receiving corps. And we have not had a sack so far. We've not had a turnover in this game.
We saw Andy Dalton escape one right there at the end of the half. Cam Newton's escaped a couple of early in the game, but it's a pretty even game there. Obviously, Cincinnati's had a couple more drives. His yardage are up.
Dalton has to dump it to Bernard at the 30, and he's got running room. Hit hard. Melvin White kept him from getting to the 40-yard line, but it looked like he got enough for a Cincinnati first down, and he did.
We talked to Giovanni yesterday, and one of the things we talked about was avoiding hits. Listen to this. Melvin White's not your run-of-the-mill smaller corner. He stands about 6'1", about 220, and he brought it there, 215.
They flip it to Brandon Tate. Has a block. Up near the first down at the 47 of Cincinnati. It's as close as we've come to one of the offensive coordinator Hugh Jackson's gadget plays.
Mini gadgets. They're not the big gadgets. We see Mohamed Sanu throw a pass, then we know we've got a big gadget. But Hugh Jackson's definitely not scared to dial up whatever it takes, and nice call there.
Picked up 9. Sanu in the backfield here. Now he dashes back. And off Hill has the first down. He's near midfield, just up across the 49 of Cincinnati.
I had this feeling in the first half that Cincinnati's offensive line was forcing their will here, and it's every little run, these 2 or 3 4-yard runs that aren't game changers by any means, but you see the push up front. Carolina's defensive front, these big tackles in there, Juwan Short and Edwards in there now need to stand up.
First down, Hill. Again, he's the tough, big 6'1", 235 rookie from LSU drafted in the second round this year. Last year, Bernard drafted in the second round. And Cincinnati came in, Rondé, running just over 50% of the time, second most in the NFL behind the Houston Texans.
I think they want to be able to establish a run. They got two good runners. Jeremy Hill is a good runner. Second running back drafted this year in the second round. Him and Giovanni Bernard give you that option, multifaceted option.
Dalton goes short again to Hill, and he's tackled right away by Kuechly.
Opportunity for this defense on third down, and as we take a look at Luke Kuechly, he's one of the best in zone coverages that I've seen, and always has an eye being in the right place, and when he hits somebody, they're going to the ground.
Now on third down and 6, Jermaine Gresham, the tight end, lines up at the bottom of your screen, split out as a receiver.
You know they're playing man. They undressed the defense. This is Thomas Davis down here at the bottom of the screen.
Dalton works left, throws that way, into coverage. Here comes a flag. Trying to get to Sanu. Charles Godfrey, the nickelback, all over.
Prior to the pass, holding. Number 30 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
There's a definite contact there. Charles Godfrey playing here because Bené Benwikere, you see him right here. Bené Benwikere is at home with that injury. And it's a touchy call. I mean, he definitely grabbed him. There's definitely contact by both. Nowadays, it's pretty easy for these officials to call these pass interferences when there's any contact.
Here comes a flag.
False start, number 25, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Bernard called for the penalty. He's looking around. Wait, he said, I didn't even get started yet.
Well, I think that the H-back there, Ryan Hewitt, it wasn't a reset. That was a clear motion. And when someone is in motion, whether the play is started or not, nobody else can move. And good call by Carl. He knew exactly what he was getting at.
Carl Cheffers, most penalties called of any group coming into the weekend. Bernard, no, it's faked as Dalton is going to run with it. Inside the 30. Andy Dalton fooling defenders and the announcer man.
Watch Giovanni Bernard right here. Read option, pulling a book out of Cam Newton, but watch him crack back on Charles Johnson there. Allow his quarterback to get some extra yards. Unexpected play by the Cincinnati Bengals offense there.
He's caught a touchdown pass this year.
He has against Tennessee.
That was a 20-yard run.
Easy. Let's go, Wilson, Cole! Wilson, Cole! Wilson, Cole!
Bernard straight ahead. You know, Andy Dalton, after a loss in the last 7 games for Cincinnati, has led this Cincinnati team to a 6-1 record. He's that productive. And you talk about how quickly he gets rid of the ball. Take it in the second round. Remember, quarterbacks, Cam Newton drafted #1 overall in that draft. But remember, Blaine Gabbert and Christian Ponder taken ahead of him. Jake Locker. Kaepernick went in the second round. Colin Kaepernick of the 49ers. And he said at first, he said, I wanted to show people. And after a while, I was grateful for the situation I was put in.
Well, their first round pick that year was their franchise receiver, A.J. Green. So he came into a really good situation, Chris.
And he's made the most of it. In trouble here, floats it short, but the pressure was on Andy Dalton in the pocket. K1 short, put the heat on. When you go back to that draft of quarterbacks, look at how close. When we looked at the actual numbers of yardage, and again, Dalton's been to the playoffs 3 straight times. Cam finally got the team the division title in playoffs last year.
Yeah, this is actually coming into this football game, these numbers, but their total passing yards now over that 4-year stretch was separated by 4 yards. That shows how equal these teams have been. Carolina defense, another third down opportunity. See if they can get off the football field for once.
Wobbly pass is intercepted. It was underthrown. Antoine Cason is still going down the sideline. He has not, they're saying he's out of bounds. The official, no, they're ruling as we have a player down at the 35 on blocking here. Luke Kuechly knocked down.
ruling on the field as the pass was intercepted, and that runner went out of bounds at the 10-yard line. First down, Carolina.
This is an 80-yard return, but out of bounds, as you heard from the official at the 10.
Andy Dalton only thrown one interception coming into this game, but look at the pressure up front. Thomas Davis forced a bad throw, and Kaysen just catch the punt. And it's all about the return. They needed a play on defense. They finally got it.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. By Taco Bell. Sometimes.
Antoine Kaysen, the interception return of 80 yards. Andre Smith with great hustle, or he would have scored a touchdown. Knocking him out of bounds, ruled at the 10-yard line. Luke Kuechly was blocked and knocked down on the field on that return. So it is first and goal, Carolina. First turnover of this game. Fozzie Whitaker spins inside down to the 4-yard line. That's the 5th takeaway in the last 2 games for the Panthers. And look who helped up Kuechly.
I thought this was a good picture. I'm not sure. I think he ran into his own guy when he went down, but perfect. Sprinted onto the field to help his buddy up, and some good picture there. Some good sportsmanship there about 2 good buddies. We talked about them meeting at the Pro Bowl last year. Much respect between those 2 guys.
9 tackles in the game for Kuechly. Meanwhile, Panthers can tie this on 2nd and goal from the 4. Autry in the backfield. Handoff. Fozzie Whitaker with a touchdown, Carolina. His first NFL touchdown.
You get in these sudden change situations, a turnover, big turnover for Carolina. In this case, you got to go down and score. It's exactly what they did.
Carolina had 4 takeaways against the Bears, and they had to rally last week from down 14 at home to win there, and this really flipped this game around. Cincinnati on the move, interception return, and now Whitaker with the touchdown and the extra point will tie things.
Sudden change of events there. Cincinnati looked like they were going in to score. Turnover, tie ball game.
Fozzie Whitaker with his first rushing touchdown. And he was a guy that Ron Rivera said they thought they had him graded as a 3rd rounder coming out of Texas, but he had surgery. And then later when he was available, picked him up, and he's come up big here with all the injuries in the backfield.
Had a strong preseason, and Coach Rivera also labeled him as the complete back. He can do a little bit of everything for this offense.
After the turnover, scores the game-tying touchdown, and this is a touchback. Andy Dalton's interception set him up. He'll try and bounce back after the Whitaker touchdown. We welcome you back at Paul Brown Stadium. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Jeremy Hill in the backfield for Dalton. He gets the football. Works his way up across the 25-yard line. You know, last year at this date, the Panthers were 1-3. That was their record. And they went on that terrific run to win the division and appear in the playoffs. And coming in here 3-2. Of course, the Bengals had the bye week before the loss up in New England. They come in at 3-1.
Hold. Let's go. White duo hot. White duo hot.
Sanu slips a tackle and falls for the first down across the 30.
Andy Dalton's doing a really good job at the line of scrimmage, Chris. Almost every play. They haven't been in a huddle, I don't think, yet today. He gets the call in, gets to the line of scrimmage, identifies what's in front of him, and has put them in a lot of good opportunities so far.
First down, he floats the screen to Jeremy Hill. Panthers do a nice job across the 35. Kaysen on the tackle. Let's check in with Joel Klatt.
All right, Chris, down to Miami, where Ryan Tannehill is going to find one of his new weapons. Jarvis Landry, the rookie from LSU. The 11-yard TD grab. It's all tied at 10. Chris, Rondé, and Jen.
And Joel, speaking of LSU, Jeremy Hill, the rookie running back from LSU, limping to the sideline for Cincinnati. Giovanni Bernard back in and gets the carry. There's finally the whistle into that pile. It'll be third down. They need to get to the 41-yard line for a first down. They're checking on Hill. Andy Dalton has been a better second half of the game quarterback this season than he has been in the first half, although today had a pretty good first half. And coming off the interception, see how he responds.
Watch the pitch. Hey, up.
Straight ahead, Bernard. Didn't get the first. And Cincinnati will bring out the punting unit.
Ran right at their big D tackle, Starlo Tulele there, and there's nothing going. It's 2 third downs in a row that this Carolina defense has gotten off the football field, and that's exactly what this Ron Rivera defense is looking for.
Adjustments made at halftime certainly have shown up here in the third quarter defensively for Carolina. First punt for Cincinnati in this game. Ball bounces. Philly Brown has it and slips across the 22-yard line. Cam Newton of the offense take over, tied at 17.
This game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. By Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Mas. And by the Dodge Challenger. Born Dodge.
With Rondé Barber, Chris Myers. Hope you're enjoying the NFL on Fox from Cincinnati. Fozzie Whitaker had the touchdown run in his first Carolina start. On first down, Cam Newton. He's going for everything. Philly Brown tangling, and here comes a flag. There's a flag back at the 15-yard line as well.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 95 defense. That penalty is declined. Pass interference, number 23 defense. That penalty is accepted. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
This long play action pass, you'll see Wallace Gilberry over here, and this ball's gone clearly. And I tell you though, sometimes these penalties, this obvious pass interference down the field, but I don't know how you tell Wallace Gilberry to stop right there.
Well, it sets him up in Cincinnati territory. You get the Fozzie and Philly show. Philly Brown on the penalty, Fozzie Whitaker in the backfield.
Here you go. Brownway, Brownway. Rocco. Rocco.
On first and 10. Pass is off the fingertips of Jericho Cotchery.
That was a nice throw there by Cam. I know it was an incomplete pass, but the past couple of games, I've been watching Cam throw some bullets in there. That was some tight coverage as he got past the safety there, Reggie Nelson, but should have been a completion to Jericho Cotchery.
He likes the hurry up or the no huddle, whatever you want to call it. It's what he ran in college, comfortably ran it last week. Cotchery in the backfield. Cam Newton keeps, fakes, and goes down inside the 45 by Reggie Nelson. It'll bring up third down.
Another big hit here. Cam Newton hadn't been running much, hadn't taken many shots. Listen. Apparently he likes that contact. He came up smiling.
On third down, Newton wide open. Jericho Cotchery down to the 20-yard line of the Bengals. And 78% of his catches this season have gone for first downs, and that one certainly did.
Cincinnati running some kind of zone pressure there. You see Carlos Dunlap was in primary coverage underneath Jericho Cotchery, and Cam Newton knew exactly where he was going with this football.
Gain
nice
of
conversion.
26 yards. Rondé, excuse me, so they go without a huddle. Darren Reeves the back. Cam fakes and fires off the hands and incomplete. Jason Avant inside the 5.
Another fastball by Cam Newton there. Jason Avant just doesn't come down with it. Now this no huddle, hurry up offense definitely gets Cam Newton in a rhythm. We had a game with them earlier in the year against Detroit. Not much going on. They get into this and they start marching down the field. He definitely has a comfort level. Not going to major in it. They're not going to do it all the time. But we need a change of pace, some energy in your offense. This is what they get into, and it's showing it right now.
Blitz on second down. Quick pass caught by Jason Avant. Picks up yardage inside the 12-yard line. Clock running. Under 4.5 here in the third quarter. Tied at 17.
You know what? You can't blitz Cam Newton. Every time you blitz him, he finds a way out of it. I think he's the 7th best quarterback in the league against the blitz, and Cincinnati continues to bring it. He continues to beat it.
Greg Olsen has only 2 catches in this game. This is usually his territory. He came in as the leading receiver on this Carolina team. 3rd and 3. Cam Newton keeps big hole. Cam Newton, and yes, a touchdown Panthers.
That's Cam Newton's first rushing touchdown of the season.
The 29th of his career. And we have an injured player in pain. That's Fernando Velasco.
They're already down one guard. Amini Silatolu is out. Velasco, who's started a number of games this year ahead of rookie Trey Turner, down on the field now.
Creative call down there on 3rd and 3.
Well, that's the Cam Newton calls that we saw his first couple of years in the league. We played these guys. We were always wary of Cam Newton when you get in the red zone. And you know, most quarterbacks become runners in the red zone, but Cam Newton especially, it's a power. Really, it's a power. You see the power play in football. You get a pulling guard. You get a running back in front of them. They're able to do it with Cam because of his stature and his ability as a runner. You see the puller Velasco out front. You got the lead blocker and Darren Reeves, and Cam Newton falls in for the touchdown. Seen a lot of it in my career.
Cam Newton certainly seemed healthy on that play. Healthy enough, as being helped off the field is Velasco. Cam Newton, who is 15 out of 21 today with 143 yards and a touchdown in the air, gets one on the ground to give the Panthers the lead. This is not the response Marvin Lewis wanted from his Bengal team after what happened last Sunday night. Graham Gano to make it a 7-point difference, and he does. A 12-yard run from Cam Newton, and the Panthers lead by 7. Cam Newton on his 4th carry today, his first rushing touchdown of this season. He's also found 7 different receivers in the passing game, and his team is out in front on the road after trailing at the half. Getting ready to kick off. Back for the Bengals, Brandon Tate. And Graham Gano gives it the boot. Will he have an opportunity? And it's a touchback. Andy Dalton will lead the offense from the 20 for Cincy. Tonight, game 2 of the NLCS. The Giants trying to take a 2-0 lead. Cardinals would like to even things up before they head out west to San Francisco. Coverage tonight, it's after football, and it's on Fox Sports 1. Fox Sports 1 also streaming live on Fox Sports Go. What a game pitched by Madison Bumgarner of the Giants. And we're right down the street from where the Reds play baseball, here on the riverfront. Screen set up to the tight end. Jermaine Gresham lumbering across the 35-yard line. He's the Bengals' leading receiver today. And Andy Dalton, as we mentioned, a better second-half quarterback this season. And he's hoping to get a few more touchdowns on the board against this Carolina defense.
He's been good in all games, but definitely been more effective in the second half as far as scoring points. You're going to have to do it again today.
On first down after a gain of 16. Sideline throw knocked away. Trying to get to Sanu. But Melvin White knocked it away.
Melvin White, who was benched last week in favor of Norman, who's out. This is a really nice play. Coming around the receiver and not contacting. No chance of personal foul. Good play. Really nice play.
Hey, out there, outside.
Second and 10 from the 36 of the Bengals. Drop back throw for Sanu out of bounds. Brandon Tate, excuse me, he's gone to Sanu and Tate here. What about running with Bernard? Have not done that much of that here in the second half, or at least had success with it.
Haven't had much success at all with it in the second half, Chris. And really, again, when I mentioned it, they had the 89-yard touchdown, but other than that, it's been real struggle for them to find any running room, really relying on Andy Dalton. They started 6-6 on third down. They've been 0 for 3 so far. They got an opportunity here on third and long.
False start, number 11 offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Third and longer now.
Dane Sansabacher called for the infraction. That is the 9th accepted penalty on this Bengal team.
No reason for false starts at home, Chris. That is just unacceptable. Whether a receiver, offensive guard, crowd's quiet for you. I don't get that.
Need to get all the way to the 46 of Cincinnati. On third down. Middle of the field, high for Gresham and intercepted by Roman Harper. His third pick of the year. Knocked down just short of midfield.
Just a bad throw there by Andy Dalton. He tried to force this ball to Gresham down the middle of the field. You'll see him run right through here past Luke Kuechly. They're in cover 2, and he has the room there. He just forces it over his head, and Roman Harper, playing that 2-deep safety, comes in and catches a nice, easy interception. Second interception of the day for Andy Dalton that really forces his team in a bad spot. Cam Newton, this offense, have been pretty hot here so far in the second half.
Panthers generous with their fans who travel on the road. Only one interception previously in this season, and now 2 in this game for Dalton.
What do you need? What do you...
Darren Reeves the carry. Knocked down right away. And I wonder how much the Carolina defense has been able to adjust to this Bengal offense without A.J. Green. And, of course, no Marvin Jones, who hasn't been here all year, and Tyler Eifert. The effect on the passing game, making them a little less flexible.
I mean, that was just a bad ball. Andy Dalton is a pretty accurate quarterback, and they were just playing simple cover 2. Mike running through the middle of the field, 2 safeties high. He tried to force it in there, looking for the big gain to get the first down, and made a bad throw.
Velasco back in at right guard after a loss of 1. Cam Newton has protection in the pocket, goes down the sideline and right on target. Jericho Patrick. First down, Carolina. Let's get a game break. Check in with Kurt Benefit.
All right, another interconference matchup going on in Miami. Green Bay's Aaron Rodgers scrambling and then firing it into Randall Cobb for the touchdown. That gives them a touchdown lead in the third quarter over the Dolphins. Chris, Ronnie, and Jen.
Thank you, Kurt. Fox NFL doubleheader today. Kurt all day with Joel Clark, keeping a close eye on all the other games going on to make sure you're updated, whichever game you're watching. After a game of 23, Cam Newton is going to keep it and weave his way down inside the 20.
Cam Newton is the running game. You know, we'll laugh at that awkward slide, but talked about it before the game. Missing D'Angelo Williams, missing Jonathan Stewart. Fozzie Whitaker having to start at running back. It's on this guy. It's on your quarterback. The most dynamic runner slash passer that the league has seen in a long time to generate your offense, and he's done it so far today.
Cam Newton with 30 of the team's 60 rushing yards today. Handoff Reeves. Reeves, an interesting story. Even their backup running backs for Carolina are beat up. He's had a hip problem, but he showed well in pass protection last week. The rookie from Alabama, Birmingham, in college, he had 30 touchdowns in 33 games. Carolina had to sign him as a free agent with all the injuries we just talked about.
And they played really well last week, given the opportunity to play and having to play. Fozzie Whitaker there, you see Chris Abonnier. We needed guys, and they stepped up.
Blitz coming. Picked up, batted away. Robert Gathers got his hands up.
Cam Newton, for a big guy, has an inordinate amount of passes tipped sometimes. Last week against Chicago, there was like 4 or 5 of them. That was just a good play there by Gathers, getting in that throwing lane, anticipating the release of that ball. And it's a good thing he did, because we didn't see the picture, but it looked like Greg Olsen was open in the end zone there.
21 seconds remain on the quarter. Cam Newton for Benjamin. There's a flag. He did catch the football. And here's the offensive interference.
Pass interference. Number 13 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Kelvin Benjamin is a huge target. Mismatch on everybody, but I have a note. When I was studying film on this guy, he loves to push off. He doesn't need to push off. He's got a 5-inch height advantage over almost anybody that covers him. I don't understand why he feels like he has to get defenders off of him. That ball's coming to him. The defender, the corner's got no chance. Just go up and get that football.
He's 6'5", and the penalty cost him a touchdown. Cam Newton's going to want a timeout here on 2nd and 20. Cam Newton, who in that same draft taken #1 overall, as we mentioned, Andy Dalton in the 2nd round, and certainly has lived up to a lot of the hype. And it's funny, we'll talk about running the football. He said, when I run, people say you should be more of a pocket passer. He said, when I stay in the pocket, people say, how come you're not running?
Well, people are going to second guess the guy. I mean, he takes a beating when he gets out of the pocket. He's a big guy. We mentioned it early. He always has awkward slides. He doesn't know how to get down because he's greedy. He wants to go. He wants to get that extra yardage. But you like that in him. You love his competitiveness. And he's responded today, I think, Chris, really well.
And Kelvin Benjamin, his rookie receiver, I was talking to General Manager Dave Gettleman about Kelvin Benjamin, and I said, what stood out? He said, first of all, the size, and you talked about it, at 6'5" and 240, and he's added weight and actually lowered, the muscle body fat, I'm sorry. But he said that everybody knew in the championship game of college, the ball was going to him, and he made the catch. He's that kind of guy. He's got that kind of mentality. And Cam loves having him on his team.
Wouldn't you?
As long as he doesn't push off. Cam Newton is going to run. And get knocked back at the 22-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down. And the quarter winding down. But the second half has belonged to the Panthers so far, as they rallied from a deficit at the half. At the end of the 3rd quarter in Cincinnati, the Panthers lead the Bengals 24-17 here on Fox. Start of the 4th quarter, division leaders. Panthers with the upper hand, a 7-point lead and threatening. From the 20 to Cincinnati, 3rd down. Darren Reeves the back for Cam Newton, has been running quite a bit here. Here comes the blitz again. Time for Newton, end zone throw. Greg Olsen out of bounds on that. In fact, Olsen, who was bothered by a sore ankle in practice this week, has only 2 catches in the game.
There's that formation again. You isolate Greg Olsen out here, and almost always gets single coverage. He had his guy. He had Adam Jones beat. Just a poor throw on the outside. Let him too far out of bounds. That would have been a touchdown. Cam knows it.
Graham Gano lining up for a 38-yard field goal try. He's been perfect from this distance this year. And it's a big kick. And the crowd tells you a big miss for the hometown Bengals. Otherwise, the visiting Panthers would have had a 10-point lead.
And that's frustrating for the Carolina Panthers team on the road. Have that kind of drive.
Looked like he just hit it awkwardly.
And to come down here with no points. Cincinnati's got an opportunity now. They have not been the same team in the second half on either side of the football. The 2 turnovers by Andy Dalton have been crucial. See if they can get back on track, or if Carolina's defense can continue their strong play in the second half.
29-yard line, Bengals take over.
Out there. That was good.
Dalton's throw is on target. Sanzenbacher has the catch. And the first down across the 40.
It's a nice throw there in the zone coverage. Melvin White actually sniffed this out, but wasn't able to make a play on the throw.
Dalton has used 6 different receivers in this game. 5 catches for his tight end Gresham. He has the most for Cincinnati. The pitch to Giovanni Bernard. Knocked down right away by Luke Kuechly. I mean, he got over there and smothered him. Bernard in pain.
Man, Luke Kuechly is flying to the football here, and this is what you expect out of this guy. Little lane there to make the tackle, and you can see the hit, and Giovanni Bernard comes down hard on that shoulder.
10th tackle for the Cincinnati kid playing in Panther blue and white. And Bernard helped to the sideline. You can hear him talking about his shoulder.
Yeah, sometimes when you come down on your shoulder like that, you get a slight separation or something. We'll have to find out what that is.
Jeremy Hill checks in at running back. Quick pass. Brought down right away is Mohamed Sanu. Thomas Davis over there at the 45-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down. Bernard, his first 100-yard game in the first half, an 89-yard touchdown run.
See them talking about pushing on his. Yeah, when I was in high school, I had that same hit like that, and I broke my clavicle. I wonder if that's what they're working on there.
Timeout. Andy saw something. Looked like the Panthers were threatening a blitz here. Bengals will have 2 timeouts remaining. Third and 8 on the last 2 third down passes for Andy Dalton. He's been intercepted. Bernard hustled into the locker room injured. Jeremy Hill the back. Sideline throw, diving forward, and no, out of bounds. The official right there, where Brandon Tate was trying to stay inbounds in what would have been a first down catch. And without A.J. Green today, that toe injury, it's been tough for the receivers for Andy Dalton as he's pointing to
they're trying to get a review here and think that maybe Brandon Tate's knee came down in bounds there, but without A.J. Green, as you mentioned, they've been spreading around pretty equitably to all those guys.
And he's holding the red challenge flag. And here it comes. 2 timeouts remaining here. Remember, he has to. We need to roll through. You have to see if he maintains possession through the entire process here.
Yeah, there'll be lots of elements whether or not this is a completed catch or not.
Cincinnati is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
I'm telling you,
Review the play.
that view looked like a completed pass to me. We can ask Mike Pereira, but
our rules analyst who's observing with this, will update the situation. Ruled incomplete, but challenged by the Bengals.
To review, the receiver had control of the ball with his knee in bounds. It is a catch. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. Cincinnati is not charged with a timeout.
As our rules analyst Mike Pereira pointed out, in officiating verbiage, 1 shin equals 2 feet, and he maintained possession.
He absolutely did. You see that shin right there on the ground. Clear reception. He had control of it. Andy Dalton was imploring, looking at the scoreboard. Good review, good challenge there by Marvin Lewis.
10-yard gain, 1st down, 46 of Carolina. Could be a tipping point in this game. Sanu has it on a receiver screen. Here comes a flag as he gets inside the 35-yard line. 9 penalties on the Bengals already.
Illegal block in the back. Number 77 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
Andre Whitworth saying, I didn't mean it. Still doesn't matter. It wipes out a healthy game.
It doesn't matter if he meant it or not. But clearly, Anton Kaysen is there to make that play and just got steamrolled by Whitworth.
So instead of a 12-yard pickup, and in Carolina territory, they're back at the 44 of Cincy.
It's like a Mack truck going over a Ferrari, right?
Yeah, he's big, right? 330, 6'7".
Huge.
Yeah.
1st and 20 now.
Yeah, we're going 5-9. Wake up.
Dalton from the pocket. On target to Sanu. Inside the 35 of Carolina. That's a Bengal 1st down. And the sun is peeking through here in Cincinnati.
Penalties have been a killer for Cincinnati, but watch them come back. You see this route here, and then Sanu just runs an in route. Anton Kaysen should have been back there in coverage in that deep zone, and he got caught up on that reroute, opening up a big seam.
Gain of 22. Dalton, 1st down, floating one for Sanu on the sideline. He holds it in. It's a touchdown, Bengals.
Man-to-man coverage on the outside. Melvin White, who we saw versus Baltimore get run by Steve Smith. Same thing here. Mohamed Sanu goes right up the field, almost untouched, and makes a really good catch to get into the end zone. Great touchdown. We saw on the play before, after that long completion for a 1st down, him telling him, feed me. Went right back to him. He got a big touchdown.
His 6th catch of the game. A 34-yard touchdown grab. Andy Dalton responding after the penalty, put him in a hole. Got 22 yards, then got the touchdown. Just over 11 and a half minutes to play. We are tied in Cincinnati.
Game is sponsored by the new Samsung Galaxy S5. The next big thing is here.
With Rondé Barber, Chris Myers here in Cincinnati. Mohamed Sanu coming up big.
Hadn't called his name much in the 2nd half of this game, but they got 2 huge plays from him back-to-back there to make this a tie ball game.
Andy Dalton, who prefers redhead over ginger, by the way, has now 2 touchdowns after 2 interceptions, so he's gotten up off the mat here. And we're tied to the 4th quarter. Philly Brown will have to down it, and Carolina will take over on the 20-yard line. Immediately following game 2 of the NLCS on Fox Sports Live, Carissa Thompson in Seattle, an exclusive one-on-one. She'll talk to the star, the Cowboys-Seahawks showdown. Plenty of baseball coverage, reaction from the Giants-Cardinals, a look ahead to game 3 of the ALCS. What an amazing story the Royals have been. Fox Sports Live tonight after NLCS game 2, the Giants and Cardinals, only on Fox Sports 1. Always streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Newton on first down for Benjamin. He spins out of a few tackles and then has to go down, but gets across the 30. Last possession, they had a chance in the end zone. They had a penalty and a missed field goal.
Yeah, start with the penalty here. Pushing off by Kelvin Benjamin. Missed field goal. We didn't show the Greg Olsen just out of bounds catch. Cincinnati took advantage of him, went right down the field and evened this game out.
After a gain of 12, Darren Reed's the back. 32-yard line. Cam Newton is weaving his way up across the 40. Leaps for what looks to be a first down. Cam Newton, he's got the first down. He's trying to come up with his 8th career game-winning drive here in the 4th quarter.
Had one last week against Chicago. He wasn't especially efficient. He only completed 8 balls, I think, in the second half last week. But he did enough. Some designed runs last week. You're seeing them emerge this week. They haven't been able to run it with their running backs, but Cam has been shouldering it himself today.
From the 43, Reed's knocked out at the 40. Montez perfect.
This Cincinnati defense has certainly missed that. Some shoot this gap. He's such a smart football player. Reed's react through the gap and gets a nice tackle for loss.
On second down, Cam Newton gets up across the 46-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down. Let's get a game break and check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, from Cincinnati to Cleveland, we go where it has been. All Browns. Ben Tate with his 2nd touchdown of the day. They are rolling over the Steelers right now, 31-3, and there's still almost 10 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter. Chris, Rondé, and Jen.
And Kurt, they're hoping for a stop from the home team here. Newton is on the run. Out of bounds. And comfortably, casually picks up the first down at the 45 of Cincinnati, almost gliding.
This reminds me of the Cam Newton 2 or 3 years ago now, where nothing phases him. You get pressure in his face. He's not scared to run. That ankle looks fine. He's not worried about the ribs. He's doing it himself, Chris. He's been awesome today.
63 yards rushing, including a touchdown on the ground and one through the air.
Hey, Spawn! 5-7 single!
Sit!
Handoff Reeves. A good gain on first down. Reeves, again, that rookie who they were impressed with his pass protection as well, so another reason he's in there when Cam needs to set up to throw. 8:20 and counting down here in the 4th quarter.
Cam told us in the meeting yesterday that good teams, it's in their genetics to run the football, and they haven't been doing it. It's interesting that he said that, and knowing that this game plan was going to be such involved with him running the football, it's really loosened up this game right now.
From the 41 of Cincinnati, he has time to throw and then has to go underneath. And Greg Olsen with only his 3rd catch of the game. Leon Hall, who we have not mentioned much today, was there on the stop. And limping member of the ankle cost him practice time this week up in Charlotte.
Big 3rd down here for Cincinnati. Got the crowd in it. They're standing up. Listen to them.
Newton floats one and knocked away. What a defensive play. Reggie Nelson as he was trying to get the ball to Olsen. And it looked like Benjamin was open on the play as well.
He had some open receivers there, but this is an aggressive call by Cincinnati. There was 11 guys at the line of scrimmage here. He tried to go up and make a tough catch, but Reggie Nelson had good coverage.
Riverboat Ron is going to be cautious, Ron Rivera, at least for the moment here. It's 4th and 2, and the Panthers are going to call time. So maybe, even though the punting team came out, he might reconsider.
Plenty of time in this game. I don't think you want to risk it at this point, giving up a shorter field. I would just punt this and put it down, but it looks like the offense is coming back onto the field.
Panthers on 4th down are 2 for 2 going for it this year.
That's not Ron's boat, but there's plenty of river boats
we said
here down along the Ohio River.
On the riverfront. There's more Kentucky with that Ohio River than Ohio, but it runs right by Paul Brown Stadium, and this is an interesting call. He trusts his defense enough as well. If he doesn't make it, that they can keep Cincinnati on that side of the field.
Going to have a lot of noise in this stadium. Let's see if Cam gets to this side. Gets up here and just starts barking at him, see if they can draw him off sides.
On 4th down and 2, Kelvin Benjamin. One of the reasons they drafted him was to come up big in big situations.
He's just too big, Chris. I mean, what do? You're a corner. He's 6'5". You know, you're Terrence Newman here and got good coverage. Get a good hands on him at the line of scrimmage. With that body type and a nice fastball by Cam Newton, just no stopping that.
And the gamble pays off. They knew right where to go. They knew just what to do on 4th and 2. And now on 1st down, Darren Reeves. Here comes a flag as he's knocked out at the 20.
Definite hold there on the edge.
Holding, number 86 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It's on Brandon Williams, the 3rd tight end. You got to be careful if you're Carolina here because it's a tie game and you certainly want to come away with points. Remember, your kicker, Graham Gano, missed the field goal try. You don't want to come away with nothing after accomplishing the 4th down success.
See Brandon Williams there. See him right there. Coming out of the backfield, lined up as a fullback, and Reggie Nelson clearly was held on that play.
From just inside the 35 of Cincinnati. Reeves. What tough running yards. A helmet comes flying off. That's Pecco's helmet as he got down to the 36. Excuse me, the 26. Making up a lot of that penalty yardage.
How does his helmet stay on with all that hair?
We have an injured player, Ray Malaluga, middle linebacker for the Bengals, down on the field. Also slow to get up is Carlos Dunlap. A play that gained 9 for Carolina.
Malaluga goes out of this game. You got a Vincent Ray who was starting in place of Vontaze Burfict at weak side linebacker will slide into the middle.
And Burfict left for a couple of plays. Coming off that concussion and has come back into the game. He has 6 tackles for Cincinnati's. Malaluga is helped from the field. At the 25-yard line of Cincinnati, and Graham Gano, who had made 8 straight and made a kick earlier that they took off the board because they advanced and then was good after that and then missed most recently.
Carolina here, you want to be thinking end zone though. You're on the road. You don't want to give the ball back to Andy Dalton in that offense with a chance to win it with a touchdown if they're able to convert.
Vincent Ray in for Malaluga at linebacker. Cam Newton throws. Pass is caught on a receiver screen. Jason Avant gets down inside the 15. He's got a first down for Carolina. What an impressive drive from this Panther team.
Really good play call here. They use their aggressiveness against it. But watch 77 here. Watch this block right here. Just enough to free Jason Avant and get that first down.
Gain of 12. Cam Newton floats the other way. Greg Olsen is alone. Greg Olsen has a Carolina touchdown. And he's in pain, slow to get up.
That ankle is definitely bothering him. But I've seen this play countless times with Carolina. Greg Olsen was lined up on the other side of the football. See him right here, lined up as the inside tight end. Play action towards him. He gets lost in the mush, comes out unscathed, and nobody accounting for him, and he falls in for the touchdown.
That's his 5th touchdown catch of the season. And more importantly, gives the Panthers, as they are trying to confirm whether it was ruled a touchdown right away, they will take a closer look. The command center in New York to help the referee, the officiating crew. We'll continue here in Cincinnati. Touchdown under review. Initially ruled a touchdown, and after further review.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Panthers have the lead. For Greg Olsen, 7th straight year with 5 touchdowns or more. He's the only tight end with a 7-year streak of that since the Tony Gonzalez retirement. And a big one here that gives the Panthers the lead. Graham Gano makes it a 7-point game with under 5 minutes to play. Let's check on some injuries down on the field with Jen Hale.
Well, Chris, Ray Maluga obviously in a great deal of pain. He couldn't sit up on that cart as he was making his way into the locker room. It's his left hamstring, and obviously, Chris, he's doubtful to return. Meanwhile, his teammate, Giovanni Bernard, is back out here on the sidelines with his helmet on. He was back in the locker room for further test on that right shoulder. Expect him to see some action. He's been giving his teammates high fives and thumbs up since he returned, Chris.
And Jen, it was the touchdown drive. They had to do it when they tied the game previously. Andy Dalton without Bernard in the lineup. So he might be able to help them out if they try to force the tie with 2 timeouts remaining.
I don't think I want anyone else at quarterback. Maybe there's some other people, but Andy Dalton has been really good in second half of football games. We've talked about it constantly. He's been efficient today. Hasn't been spectacular, but he's been an efficient player today. He's going to need it big on this drive coming up.
And Adam Jones is back, who has been terrific on punt returns this season, but hasn't had much of a chance today. He's back to return the kick if he gets an opportunity. Gano, one of the best at knocking it through and forcing the touchback. Adam Jones, here he comes. And there he goes. Adam Jones. All the way inside the 5 of Carolina. Colin Jones saved a touchdown return of Adam Jones. 98 yards.
What a spectacular return that was. And I say spectacular return, but I really mean spectacular blocking. Look how much room he has to run this ball back. You put him back there because he's more sure-handed than Tate is, but look at the blocks he gets out here. Just makes the kicker miss. And then Adam Jones has been doing this his entire career with the ball in his hands, a special player. It's hard to believe he even got caught here, Chris. Great effort by Colin Jones to make that play, just stop that touchdown. But great field position for Andy Dalton in this offense now down in the 3-yard line.
What an exciting 4th quarter here. Bengals trying to punch it in and tie it up with Jeremy Hill, the running back. 3 receivers. They all go up to the top of the screen for Dalton. First and goal. Jeremy Hill and touchdown Cincinnati.
I like it, Jeremy. Giving the Icky tribute. Everybody here knows what that's all about. But that was easy. That was quick. Cincinnati with the huge return, and then the hitting pay dirt with Jeremy Hill.
Jeremy Hill with his third rushing touchdown, second on the team in rushing behind Giovanni Bernard. And with the extra point, we'll be tied. That was fast.
I was still finishing my sip of tea up here. And wow, tie ball game again.
Catch your breath. Panthers equal their highest point total of the season, which they put up last week, and 31 again today. And of course, all scoring plays checked and confirmed. I know it slows the excitement a little bit here, but the idea is you want to make sure and get it right.
They're just confirming how accurate his depiction of Icky Woods was.
The commercials are riot, by the way.
Yes.
Very entertaining to see Icky in action at a grocery store. Ruled a touchdown on the field. They're attempting to confirm. We'll have more from Cincinnati.
Hey.
We welcome you back here in Cincinnati. The touchdown under review.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Jeremy Hill gets credit for it. That kickoff return by Adam Jones, officially 97 yards, so it's the longest in team history that was not a touchdown. And it set up the run by Hill, and now Mike Nugent for the extra point. Tonight, game 2 of the NLCS. Giants trying to go up 2-0. Cardinals hope to even things before heading west to San Francisco. Coverage after football on Fox Sports 1. That's right, Fox Sports 1 has it. And streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Madison Bumgarner was outstanding in game 1 for San Francisco. He's been their ace for the entire season. It'll be Jake Peavy, the veteran acquired during the season. Remember, he won a World Series with the Red Sox last year. And Lance Lynn, who has been steady all season long for the defending NLCS Cardinals, who are down in the series. That return by Adam Jones. He still didn't have a kickoff return for a touchdown in his career, but tied for the 5th longest in Bengals history across the board. And what a clever move to put him back there in that situation. Marvin Lewis and Cincinnati needing a jolt here.
He's definitely a dynamic returner, guy when he has the ball in his hands. I thought they put him back there just for some security. Get the veteran guy, the guy that's got experience doing it. He needed a big play, and he showed up.
A total of 62 points, and we're not done yet. Philly Brown brings it out for the Panthers. Trying to find a room and get outside. He's up across the 30. A solid return for Philly Brown. Meanwhile, Adam Jones' return. He did not hesitate bringing it out.
Not at all. And look at that hole. Look at that gap right there. That's hard to get done on a kickoff return. And again, you see the blocking down the field has still got that shiftiness even this many years into the league. You get a block on Charles Godfrey, who was the safety valve there, and it's just a foot race at that point. His old legs got caught up on him. 3-4 years ago, he didn't get caught, I don't think.
But Carolina sets up their offense at the 32. One timeout for the Panthers. Cam Newton delays the handoff, and he's nailed for a loss. Emmanuel Lemure.
Cam's got to be careful here not to want to do too much of this offense. You know, these are read option plays. He has the opportunity to give it or keep it. He's kept about 3 or 4 of them in the Cincinnati Bengals defense now is starting to key in on him. They know he's going to want to be the guy to make the play. He's just got to be smart as we go forward here.
He's
last 4 minutes.
The Panthers' leading rusher in this game with 60 yards on 10 carries. On second down, Cam Newton, middle of the field, and overthrows Jericho Cotchery. It'll be third down. Let's get a game break. A check-in with Joel Clark.
Hey, Chris, let's go up to Buffalo, where Kyle Orton trying to bring the Bills all the way back. He finds Chris Hogan, 8-yard TD. 2-point conversion would be good to the rookie Robert Woods, and it's 30-22. They're within 8 against New England. Chris and Rondé.
Sure, they're going crazy in Buffalo, and it's crazy here on 3rd and 13. Cam Newton fires high and intercepted. Reggie Nelson inside the 30 of Carolina.
Huge play there by Reggie Nelson. Bad throw by Cam Newton. See, they got 2 backs in the backfield to protect against a possible blitz. Cam Newton tried to force that ball into Kelvin Benjamin, and it just wasn't there. There was 3 guys there. Tips and overthrows. You talk about it all the time in the secondary. Balls that go over receivers' heads and ones that bounce up and in the air. And he gets just hammered by Wallace Gilbert here after the throw, and he came up holding his arm. A big play by Cincinnati's defense here. And if you're wondering, that was definitely a clean hit on the quarterback, but it looks like he hurt his throwing hand here a little bit.
It's the 2nd interception this season, only the 2nd thrown by Cam Newton. Reggie Nelson with the play that could give the Bengals the lead. From inside the 25 of Carolina, Sanu in motion. Hill gets the carry. Knocked down right away, but he gets inside the 22. Melvin White coming up from the corner spot, and that would be big. Looks like somebody's limping off for Carolina. Checking the throwing arm. Chase Blackburn went off. Linebacker in some pain, but Cam Newton looks like he's in pain.
Working on that thumb, or he's in serious pain. They didn't even want them to address it.
Remember the rib injury, the ankle surgery. Had his elbow bloodied a bit last week against Chicago.
No, tag.
Second down. It's Hill again. Jeremy Hill. Here comes a flag, and he's going to go into the end zone. But there's a flag back at the 20.
Holding. Number 71 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
And the call on Andre Smith, the right tackle. It's coming back. Jeremy Hill was just finishing his dance when the call was
See him right
announced.
here, Andre Smith, and he can say what he wants to, but he's got clear hold of Charles Johnson's shoulder pad there. Tell you, most offensive linemen, it's almost every play you could get a holding call, and that was a crucial one.
It is the most called penalty once again in the entire NFL, holding penalties, but there's the totals for today. It backs him up to the 32. Mike Nugent has made a field goal, but he's already missed 5 this year, equaling his career worst. Bernard is in at running back. Here comes the flag.
Offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Again on Andre Smith, penalties backing up the Bengals.
Getting these 2nd and now 23 situations. 2nd and long is a tough call for any offensive coordinator. You don't want to try to get too much out of this. It's really a get back on track down. Let's see what Cincinnati has in the playbook. Hugh Jackson has up for this call.
On 2nd and 23, Dalton to throw. Tipped away, but caught by Sanu. Official right there says he stayed in bounds and grabbed the deflection. That'll get you a smile.
He's got a real wry smile after that one. Antoine Cason should have intercepted that ball and then just talked about tips and overthrows, went right to Melvin White. He wasn't able to make that play, but great concentration by Mohamed Sanu, really snatching that thing out of the air, out of the waiting hands of Melvin White there. That was a good play by Antoine Cason, but he's got to finish that.
Sanu had a touchdown catch earlier.
G.
Giovanni Bernard in the backfield. Sanzenbacher overthrown. Grabs it on the bounce. It's incomplete. Ruled right away by the official as an incomplete pass. And that was a third down call, bringing up 4th down and a field goal attempt here by Mike Nugent. He made from 44 earlier. This will be 38 yards.
The ebbs and flows of this game have been very dramatic, Chris. It's been fun. All these points, the momentum swinging back and forth, have an interesting, a fun last 2.5 minutes of this game.
For the lead. The Bengals are up by 3. We'll see if Cam Newton and that throwing arm, if he's well enough to take the field with 1 timeout and 2:11 remaining. It's about what you expect from division leaders. An impressive effort for the Panthers here on the road in Cincinnati. What do you expect now from Cam Newton, and do you think his running game will be affected? In other words, him running off with the football.
Again, I think he's got to be careful not to try to do too much, not to try to do it himself. He has that in him where he feels like he can make any play out there. They got to give credit, first of all, to that Carolina defense. You get in a situation, you get a sudden change. You got an offense in their home stadium with momentum. They get a stop there for a field goal. It gives them a chance to win this football game. But it's going to be on the arm, I think, here of Cam Newton. The running game might be out the window. See if we get this tempo, see if we get Cam Newton comfortable, see if he can move him down the field. And don't forget that he went off the field after that last interception, holding his thumb and his forearm or whatever his injury was down there. We'll see if it affects him on this last 2 minutes of this football game.
Yard line with 1 timeout, and of course the 2-minute warning will stop the clock as well as Cam Newton is taking the field here. Following game 2 of the NLCS, Fox Sports Live, Carissa Thompson in Seattle. She'll talk to the star of the Cowboys-Seahawks game, plus baseball coverage. Giants-Cardinals, ALCS. Fox Sports Live tonight after game 2 of the NLCS on Fox Sports 1. Always streaming live on Fox Sports Go. America's Game of the Week follows us depending upon your area.
Red line on the field there. It's where you got to get to for Gano's career-long field goal.
On 1st down, Cam Newton has time. And he'll keep it. And just short of the 30-yard line. An injured player, it's Wallace Gilberry. A physically taxing game. We saw Ray Maluga go out. Vontez Perfect out and back in.
Yeah, Wallace had his helmet locked up in one-on-one pass block there with Byron Bell here, and you see his helmet come off, and then just watch his on the other side of the screen there, a teammate or on the other side of the ball, somebody's helmet just contacts him in the temple. He's leaking a little, he's bleeding a little bit there.
Cincinnati defense coming off that turnover, the interception of Reggie Nelson set up the go-ahead points. Graham Gano, he has made a 39-yarder for Carolina today, but missed a 38-yarder. So Gilberry will come out with with 1 second remaining as they will start the clock, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning after the run by Cam Newton continuing the play. Panthers on offense, trailing by 3. 2 minutes remaining in regulation in Cincinnati. With Rondé Barber, Jennifer Hale on the field, I'm Chris Myers. Glad to have you watching the NFL on Fox as Graham Gano is watching Cam Newton operate with 1 timeout in 2 minutes, facing a 2nd and 1. And that red line shows you where the Panthers need to get to for a career best opportunity. 59-yard field goal is the best that Gano has hit in his career. He had a 53-yarder this year. First they have to get the first down, and they do. Cam Newton has run 11 times today. Worked the ball around. Avant and Benjamin each with 5 catches. From the 33. Pass is caught, and going out of bounds is Greg Olsen. Olsen had the touchdown catch moments ago here in a wild 4th quarter.
Nice delivery there by Cam to his favorite target. Standing in this pocket, tall and strong, and delivers another bullet. We keep talking about giving baseball references here, but that was another perfect strike to his tight end. Yeah.
Olsen now with 5 catches from the 49 of Carolina. Newton throws and incomplete. Jericho Cotchery was covered back there by Adam Jones, who had the 97-yard kickoff return, and Geno Atkins put some pressure on Newton.
Haven't mentioned Geno Atkins' name much at all today. This is the first time you see him just running through Trey Turner running through him. If you're Cincinnati's defense here, it's technique time. Don't do anything out of the ordinary. Do your job. Keep this ball in front of you. Don't allow any big plays. Pressure here is obviously on Carolina in that offense.
Newton throws on target short of the first down. Philly Brown is spun around inside the 45. The clock runs, 1 timeout. We'll keep repeating as Carolina has to use that clock wisely here.
So it's interesting. They're not in a hurry up. They know they have clock on their side because they have time still. Milk as much of this as they can. In case they score, they don't have to worry about Cincinnati going down to answer.
On 3rd down and 2, pressure on Newton. He floats it. Knocked away. George Iloka. Looked like Greg Olsen was going to make another important catch. Now it's 4th down.
Well, 4th down's like 3rd down in 2-minute situations, but Cam did a nice job running away from that pressure and had to force it to somebody, and he threw it up to Greg Olsen. But this is a really nice play by Iloka knocking this ball free, because that would have been a 1st down.
Cam Newton is going to get the 1st down, tumbling inside the 40 at Cincinnati, and a timeout, the last one, used by Ron Rivera and the Panthers. Very calmly letting his quarterback keep the football.
Cam Newton has been the offense in the running game, obviously, as a passer, but that's a big call, a big gamble by Mike Shula and that offense to go with your quarterback there on a crucial 4th and 2 situation.
We've seen Ron Rivera go for it on 4th down earlier, and they converted. We also saw Cincinnati challenge on a 3rd down catch. It was ruled no catch. They would have had to punt. It was overruled, kept the possession, and they ended up scoring. It's been that kind of game. 65 points on the board. 45 seconds remaining.
If you're Carolina now, you know that you just need a couple of more yards here to get in comfortable field goal range. To see how smart they are with the football. No need to push it and try to take unnecessary chances here.
On 1st and 10. Right now you're looking at a 56-yard field goal if they get nothing. Pass to Benjamin, juggled, and he held on inside the 30.
Leon Hall almost tipped that out for an interception. But good concentration by Kelvin Benjamin, the rookie again, making a big catch there.
Clock running. Be a 47-yard field goal try from here. Going deep in the air. Batchery couldn't hold on, and Hall was there to keep him from recovering the deflection.
Really good play, challenging that ball by Leon Hall.
So now it's 3rd down and 1. We mentioned the field goal range of 47. Do you worry about the hash mark? Do you worry about the first down with no timeouts and 17 seconds here?
You got to go to the sideline. You have to run and check their spike it real quick. Don't want to lose yards here. Cam's got to be smart. He cannot lose yards here.
Clock runs. Cam Newton floats, completes underneath at the 27, Brenton Burson, but the clock is running. 9-8, tick, tick. We have an injured player for the Bengals down. It's linebacker Emmanuel Lemure. This may help out the Panthers. Certainly hope he's okay.
Now Cincinnati.
Ray Maualuga injured a little bit earlier.
40 seconds, 4-0 on the play clock, please.
And no 10-second runoff, just a charged timeout. Bengals have 1 remaining. I think Ron Rivera is trying to figure right now it'll be about a 44-yard field goal. We'll get you the exact distance on the spot. He's been the Panthers kicker since the mid part of the 2012 season. And Gano made a 53-yarder in week 3 against Pittsburgh. It made his last 7 straight of 50 yards or more. Overall, 12 out of 18 from over 50. So from 44, Gano hopes to tie this game.
Really good job there, Chris, by Cam Newton, this offense, working their way down the field. Very carefully, too, right? Very methodically. Didn't take any risks. He had his one opportunity to shoot it down the field there with the incomplete pass, but got the first down in time and give them this field goal opportunity to tie this game and send it to overtime.
That's what Graham Gano has done today. Welcome you to Cincinnati. The Bengals with a 3-point lead and 6 seconds remaining. An injured Cincinnati player forced a stoppage of the clock and Cincinnati to use a timeout. The Panthers are out of timeouts. Cam Newton hoping to spike it here and set up a Graham Gano field goal that would tie. A quick recap. Cam Newton has run for a touchdown and thrown for 2. Andy Dalton suffered 2 interceptions but 2 touchdown passes, and Giovanni Bernard over 100 yards rushing, including an 89-yard touchdown run. But a wild 4th quarter has set us up in this scenario with Rondé Barber and Jen Hale, Chris Myers looking on, and the hometown Bengal crowd watching Graham Gano try for the tie. Marvin Lewis asked for the timeout before the snap.
Second timeout.
Bengals used their last timeout, hoping to create some angst for Graham Gano.
Well, it's only right that this type of game comes down to a big kick. With 5 seconds left on the clock, it's been back and forth the entire day. Both offenses, both quarterbacks have been very good today. Cam running the ball as well as delivering some pretty good passes, and Andy Dalton, he had the 2 interceptions to start the second half, but he was really good in the second half with those touchdown throws.
We welcome those of you that watch the Patriots and Bills with Rondé Barber, Chris Myers. You see the time on the clock. Graham Gano for the tie. And disappointment in Cincinnati, but the Panthers ecstatic that Cam Newton, battered much of the day physically, pushes his team into a situation to force overtime on the road in Cincinnati. Battle of division leaders. And for the first time, Cam Newton and Andy Dalton facing each other, both from that 2011 draft. And both quarterbacks have done their part for their team today.
They really have. And we talked early in this football game about how Carolina was going to generate some offense in the running game, and it's been on the legs of Cam Newton today.
Just a quick recap for the audiences that have tuned in and are joining us from some of the earlier games. Giovanni Bernard, who later was injured in the game, an 89-yard touchdown run, career highs for Sanu. Number no, A.J. Green inactive with the toe injury. Luke Kuechly returning to Cincinnati.
We're about to begin an overtime period of up to 15 minutes. Fourth quarter timing rules are in effect, and any reviews will be initiated by the replay official up in the booth. Each team gets 2 timeouts, and if the score is tied at the end of the 15-minute period, it will be recorded as a tie. Carolina gets to call the toss, that's heads, and that's tails. They call tails. It is heads. Cincinnati has won the toss and elects to take the ball. Cincinnati gets the ball first, this end of the field. Good luck, gentlemen.
Overtime in Cincinnati. The Bengals and Panthers. You're watching the NFL on Fox. Bengals and Panthers in overtime for the first time this season. What's key here, both teams the opportunity to possess the ball unless the initial possession is a touchdown or a safety. The Bengals will receive, and Adam Jones, who had a 97-yard return that set up what was a game-tying touchdown in the fourth quarter, is back to return the kickoff from Graham Gano. Worth mentioning, the home team this year in the NFL has won 4 out of 5 overtime games, but the team that won the coin toss, Cincinnati in this case, a record of 2-3 in those overtime games. Adam Jones will not have an opportunity. Touchback 20-yard line. Andy Dalton will lead the offense. In the fourth quarter, after Carolina trailed at the half, Greg Olsen had only a couple of catches in the first half, into the end zone for the touchdown. Here's the Adam Jones return that set up a game-tying touchdown to rookie Jeremy Hill. And then field goals, and that's where we stand. Cam Newton was hit and his throwing arm was checked on, but he was able to lead the Panthers back into the tie. Bernard returns, and Giovanni Bernard loses the ball out of bounds after a gain of about 8. For Andy Dalton, he's looking for his 12th career game-winning drive. He had one this year. That was in week 1 against Baltimore. The Ravens won today in the AFC North. The Browns beat the Steelers. If you're worried about the AFC South for the Panthers, Bears and Falcons coming up on Fox. Saints have the weekend off. Bernard. Panther defense tightens here.
Carolina's defense it's been impressive in this football game in the second half. We talked about how Cincinnati started so fast, converted 6 of 6 third downs. They've only converted 1 of 6 so far in this second half. We got a big opportunity here for Carolina to turn this overtime in their favor. The big stop here. They need a big one.
3rd down and 2.
Hey, we're fine.
Where are you going? Hey, watch this way.
Lady! Wake up!
Dalton is going to run for the first down and slide across the 35-yard line, doing his best Cam Newton impression. He had a 20-yard run earlier in the game.
Saw him run earlier in the game. But here he has his initial throw. He decides to check it. Has a run lane there with those rushmen getting upfield and makes the smart decision to get that first down.
Cam hoping for an opportunity from the 35. Giovanni Bernard the back.
Lady! Wake up!
Bernard has the reception, and it's smothered at the 40-yard line.
Carolina defense is still flying around there. sitting back in his zone. They were really aggressive. Sean McDermott, the D coordinator, was calling a lot of pressures early in this game, but as they settled into some zone coverages. Those linebackers been flying around the entire second half.
Remember, the Bengals win with a touchdown. If they get a field goal, Carolina will have the chance to tie that or possibly win with a touchdown. Bernard is a receiver at the bottom of your screen. Pass is caught by Sanu. Mohamed Sanu out of bounds around the 45. They spotted at the 44 of Carolina.
Cincinnati does a good job here spreading out the formation. And really, when you do this, you get a chance to undress the defense and create a lot of space. And they did that there. Got a one-on-one with Antoine Case and got a first down.
Mohamed Sanu, a career-best 8 catches over 100 yards and a touchdown, picking up the slack for A.J. Green inactive. Bernard has it. Giovanni Bernard down inside the 35. It's a first down.
Same problems that we saw earlier in the game with Carolina's defense. They're down there in an 8-man front. Gap control has been a problem for them past couple of games. It's been a problem early, and it's a problem again right there on that big run.
Bernard averaging over 8 yards a carry today. Jeremy Hill checks in, the rookie from LSU. Falling forward to about the 32. Thomas Davis on it. Opening possession here in overtime. Cincinnati won the toss, wanted the ball, and is on the move.
This reminds me a lot of the opening drive of the game, Chris. Just very methodical, very to the point. Get your completions, get your first downs. There's no need to be urgent right now. Just this is a regular game situation. They're executing perfectly right now.
On second down, pass to Sanu, makes the inside move. Inside the 25. Just short of the first down. Dalton has attempted 36 passes. He keeps lunging forward. His counterpart from that 2011 draft, Cam Newton, 25 out of 40 today. Cam, the #1 overall pick. Dalton, of course, the second-round selection. The officials checking here.
It's close to that line.
Yeah, they're going to measure, though, to be sure.
As you know, that line's superimposed there. Nothing official.
This sold-out crowd at Paul Brown Stadium will help us on every call for the Bengals.
This point in the game, you're Carolina. You need some of your star players, your Luke Kuechly, your Thomas Davis. One of these guys up front to make a huge play here. Stem this tide. This has been a very easy drive down the field for Cincinnati so far.
First charge timeout, Carolina. A 30-second timeout.
2 timeouts in overtime for each team, so the Panthers will have 1 remaining. Cincinnati with both of theirs on this opening drive in overtime. Week 6 continuing later today on Fox, and for some of you on CBS. And tonight on Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. Ron Rivera had a 4th down gamble that paid off. Marvin Lewis wanted his team to come out fighting after what happened in prime time up in New England. Both division leaders, both trying to win their 4th game of this season. first down. Quick pass. Seisenbacher. It's down inside the 19-yard line. Former Ohio State Buckeye.
It's one of the guys, him, Brandon Tate, who come up big today with A.J. Green sitting on the sideline with that toe injury. Those two guys got 7 catches today. They were needed. They've showed up.
Tate with a touchdown earlier. 6 different receivers Dalton has thrown the ball to. Excellent tackling inside. Charles Johnson.
You're Carolina. This is crucial third down. Give them this field goal. They're where they are. You can't give them another set of downs, 4 sets of downs to try to get a touchdown here.
You mentioned Luke Kuechly, who played at St. Vincent High School here in Cincinnati, leading tackler for the Panthers, coming back home, playing his first NFL game here. St. Xavier High School, and that is a timeout for Cincinnati. As we welcome you up to the booth. Well, Cincinnati led at the half. The wild fourth quarter has created this, and both of these quarterbacks, and we talked about it at the top of the broadcast, have certainly done what they had to for their team, and this has been an impressive drive for Andy Dalton, facing a key spot, because touchdown wins it, field goal, then you give Carolina a chance.
Andy Dalton, this offense, very much struggled on third down coming into this football game. They were excellent to start the game, have struggled since then. And this is a big one. Carolina knows that if they don't get a stop here on third down, you give them more shots into the end zone. You could walk away without even getting your offense on the field for a chance to win this. And Cincinnati spreads them out completely. We'll see what we get, see what matchups we get here for Cincinnati and Andy Dalton.
Bernard, a receiver, top of your screen. Dalton is going to go down. Charles Johnson with a sack when the Panthers needed it most.
Talked about somebody on his defense. Look at that get off by Charles Johnson. Pushes that offensive tackle right into the quarterback, and that is a huge play. Cam Newton's excited, mutedly excited, but knows that he at least gets a chance to go down and have yet another game-winning drive added to his career.
First sack of this game in overtime. Mike Nugent with a chance to give the Bengals from 42 yards away the upper hand. And the kick. The fans approve. Now it'll be Carolina's turn. Cam Newton and the offense will take the field here in overtime in Cincinnati. Tonight, game 2 of the NLCS. Giants try to take a 2-0 lead on the Cardinals, who want to even things before heading out to San Francisco for game 3. Coverage after football on Fox Sports 1. Always streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Cam Newton will have to get at least 3 to keep this going for Carolina. With a touchdown, the Panthers would win. If they get nothing, Cincinnati wins. We could still end up tied. We'll cover all the options for you.
Time runs out, but you know this is a completely different situation now for Carolina on offense as it was for Cincinnati. They could run regular they could play regular football, get down there, get points. But Carolina now is in a true 2-minute situation. Treat fourth down just like third down. They got to get points here.
Philly Brown will bring it out. Gets up across the 20. Cam Newton, 13 rushes, 78 yards, averaging 6 a carry. Hadn't run much this season. Did have a touchdown run and threw for 2. Remember, if you tuned in late, Jonathan Stewart, a game-time decision, inactive, as is D'Angelo Williams, and has been. So they've used Fozzie Whitaker in the first half, and then Darren Reeves and Chris Ogbonnaya in much of the second half, and that's Reeves, the rookie, in there from Alabama Birmingham. Good pass protector. Now he goes out as a receiver. Pass is caught. Reaching across the 30 is Jericho Cotchery. Eight different receivers have caught passes from Cam Newton today.
Cincinnati, just as I said it was a true 2-minute situation for Carolina, so is true for this Cincinnati defense. They need a stop. They have to get off the field. See if they're aggressive, call blitzes on Cam, who's been very good against them all day, or if they'll sit back and play coverage.
After a gain of 9, Cam Newton keeps. He's got a first down across the 40 of Carolina.
Just adds an element to this offense. When he is a threat to run, and he has been that threat all day today, it's so much more difficult to defend this Carolina offense. You mentioned earlier about how some people give him flack, for lack of a better word, for not running enough or running too much. But this offense definitely works better when he is a threat to pull it down and run the football.
He's run 14 times today. He ran 14 times all of this season coming into the game. He'll keep it again. Fights hard to get up across the 45. Let's check in for a game break with Joel Klatt.
All right, Chris, we head up to Seattle. A terrible start for Dallas. Doug Baldwin blocks the punt. Mike Morton scoops it up, takes it in for a 10-0 lead, and Seattle is all over the Cowboys early. Most of your viewers will be taking up to Seattle at the conclusion of your game, Chris.
Thank you, Joel. The Cowboys off to a great start in the season behind DeMarco Murray, but trailing as most do when they go up to Seattle. On 2nd and 5, Cam Newton for Greg Olsen. He's got the first down at the Carolina 44.
Talked about the 2 opening drives, Chris, in this game, with both offenses going down, just taking their time, going methodically. I tell you, man, this looks the exact same. Carolina taking their time with the offense, balancing run, pass, even though those runs are with Cam. They know they have time on the clock. It's their friend. Keep this thing going, and they can extend this game even longer.
Carolina advancing it to the Cincinnati 44. That's Ed Dixon, the tight end in the backfield. Hand off to Reeves. Knocked out right away. Reggie Nelson from his safety spot.
That puts a little bit more pressure on Carolina, though. They brought pressure there. 2 guys off the... See Reggie Nelson right here. You see 2 guys off the side. Opens up a lane right there for Reggie Nelson. Really good play. Call that a run blitz. If they pass blitz, run blitz. He knew he had the job to get the ball on the ground, and he did it.
Andy Dalton looks awfully relaxed. An overtime thriller here in Cincinnati. After a loss of 3, Cam Newton will use the Panthers' final timeout, just 2 in the overtime period. Cincinnati still has 1 remaining. You need to pick up 10 yards to at least try a 55-yard field goal if you want to think of it in those terms.
I think they're playing football here to get themselves in a manageable 3rd down, first of all, Chris. They had 2 tight ends, 2 receivers on the field. Now Ed Dixon's coming out of the game, and Jason Avant is entering, so they have this 3 wide receiver set. But you don't have to get it all right here. Find a way to get half of this back, give yourselves a manageable 3rd down, and still have an opportunity, if you're not available for it on 3rd down, to give a long field goal attempt to a kicker ground down.
Cam Newton keeps. He's knocked down inside the 45. Need to get to the 34 of Cincinnati for a first down.
We saw that play was successful earlier in the game on a 2nd and long situation. Cam got a whole bunch of yardage back and made it an easier 3rd down to convert, but Cincinnati's defense was on it there, and they got a big 3rd down stop, or opportunity to stop coming up here. They're showing pressure, too. They got 9 guys, 8 guys sitting on the line of scrimmage.
Reggie Nelson on a safety blitz. Cam throws, and on the sideline, there's a flag in the secondary. But the catch made by Jason Avant, who had to come to the ball and keep his feet in bounds on the sideline. But it's not good enough for a first down.
Well, this flag went down. It looks like it's going to be contact in the secondary on Cotchery.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, number 55 defense. 5-yard penalty results in an automatic. First down.
That is the third critical penalty on Vontaze Burfict today.
Over here you see Burfict right here. Burfict right there. And this is clearly more than 5 yards down the field. Just that little contact. It seems insignificant, but it's past that 5-yard threshold. And those refs, we've talked plenty about it. If you watched any football at all, are emphasizing that this year.
What's interesting is it gives them a first down inside the 40. They would have had a fourth down closer to the 30. But a fresh set of downs with the rookie Darren Reeves as the running back. Cam Newton a quick throw, and it's incomplete for Brenton Burson. Kelvin Benjamin and Greg Olsen have 6 catches each to lead the Panthers today. Olsen and Benjamin each have a touchdown catch today.
Cincinnati, they're at home. Needing a big stop on defense. Where's the crowd, Chris? I don't hear it.
I think you just cued them.
They're sitting on their hands.
Cam Newton keeps it, but Cam Newton is inside the 30. He's got a first down for the Panthers.
Well, I hate to say we were right at the top of the show, but we couldn't have been more on the money talking about them needing to establish a running game, and it was going to fall onto the shoulders of Cam Newton. That's his 18th rush of the day, and this read option, which we saw so much of him in college in his first couple of years in the league, has been dominating Cincinnati's defense today. Over 100 yards rushing for Cam.
17 carries. He's thrown for 276 yards. After a 12-yard gain. Right now you're looking at a 45-yard field goal, but they win it with a touchdown. Throws underneath, caught by Reeves, who's knocked down right away. A career-high rushing attempts for Cam Newton with 17 in this game.
They needed him to be Superman today, Chris. We saw the rushing touchdown. He pulled it out. He pulled out his signature dance, but his move, he's been exactly that today. With 390 yards of offense, and there's nothing Andy Dalton can do right now as he's watching his compadre here march down the field.
Cam Newton with plenty of time. Throws. End zone incomplete. Jericho Cotchery was back there. The coverage was good, but he had a shot at it. Adam Jones with him in the end zone. It's now 3rd down and 6.
Jericho Cotchery, he has great hands. Gets both of them on, just right through there. That should have been a catch. He's gonna look at that later and say, I had my opportunity. He's over Adam Jones there. Feet would have been in bounds. Ball hit him right in the hands. It's hard to believe he didn't make that catch.
3rd down and 6. Right now a 41-yard field goal is what you're looking at. Pass is caught by Benjamin at the 19, shoved back. It is 4th down. Quickly the official signaling it was not enough for the first down.
Yeah, you got to kick this now.
So here comes Graham Gano. Made the kick in the closing seconds to force overtime, and this will be from 37. To keep the game going in overtime, officially spotted where it will be a 36-yard field goal try. If he misses, the Bengals win. And the hush over Paul Brown Stadium. says overtime will continue. An impressive drive from each of these quarterbacks in overtime. And we play on. It's the NFL on Fox at Cincinnati. Bengals with one timeout. You see the last game that wound up tied with 2:19. We'll still get a stoppage at the 2-minute mark of overtime. But for these two teams, the Panthers and Bengals, a total of 74 points. It's the 6th different tie today between these two.
It's been back and forth. Both quarterbacks have been outstanding today. We just talked about Cam, his running game and throwing the football. Andy Dalton only has 8 incompletions on the day, and he gets a chance here, Chris. 2:20 left in this football game to win it for Cincinnati at home. Should be exciting.
Adam Jones watches it sail through. 20-yard line is where Dalton and the Bengal offense will start. Coming up next, America's Game of the Week. You already saw the update on Tony Romo and the Cowboys facing Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Some will see the Bears and Falcons. Atlanta with a 3-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. And some will see the Redskins and Cardinals. Coverage coming up on Fox, also streaming live on Fox Sports Go. It's America's Game of the Week. What a game this has been.
Yeah. Squeeze it.
Pass is caught by Gresham, the tight end. Up near the 28-yard line. See if Andy Dalton lets it run to that 2-minute mark. Bengals do have the timeout. The next points win the game. If nobody scores, we wind up time. 2-minute warning of overtime.
Cam Newton sitting on that sideline, got to be thinking, man, I've done a lot today. I've done enough for us to win this football game. 37 points on the scoreboard for him. Talked about those rushing yards. Been very efficient. Led some great drives down the football field.
We've had only 2 punts in this game. Each team has punted. But if you're the Bengals here, Rondé, help us out on how you play it. Andy Dalton has suffered 2 interceptions, so you don't want a turnover that cost you the game, but you don't want to miss an opportunity to win the game.
They're back in that same situation in my mind that they were at the start of overtime. The ball, the ball's clearly in their court, right? They have possession. They know all they have to do is get in field goal range in the next minute and 10 seconds, and they have a timeout to get down there and try a long field goal to win it. But the priorities really are on Carolina on defense. They have to keep them down here. They have been on and off, good and bad today, Chris. They've had some crucial stops on 3rd down that helped them in the second half. But they've also had some gashes that have made this game what it is today.
You saw that red line. That's where they would need to get to, the Bengals, to at least give Mike Nugent an opportunity for a 55-yard field goal. That's his career long. But he is 0 for 2 on kicks of 50 or more this season. But in this situation, Cincinnati probably doesn't want to throw it quickly and stop the clock, because if you're a quick out and have to punt here, you're going to give Carolina the ball back. I would say that would be a priority for the Bengals. You should finish this game with the ball, whether you win it or wind up tied.
Yeah, and that's what I was meaning. That yes, you have the ball. You have possession. You control the outcome of this game at this moment. They need to convert first down to keep this thing going.
Bernard, and he's got the first down. So it's further in the hands of this Bengal offense. And the Panther defense is going to have to come up with a big play.
Tough yards today by Giovanni Bernard. Good push up front, but he went out with that injury. He's come back strong here.
Dalton throw open in the seam. Did he catch that? He reached with one hand. The official says no, he juggled it. Mohamed Sanu, who's had a career day, almost snared another one.
That ball looked like it had no chance of being completed. There was a bullet in here. It just looks like it's too far, but he almost pulls that in with one hand. If he controls that to the ground, it's a completion. But you have to maintain possession of that ball.
A great attempt.
Through the end. Yep.
All reviews, of course, in overtime. Upstairs by the officiating crew, so no question on 2nd and 10. Pass here. Sanzenbacher knocked down right away. It'll be 3rd down. Clock running. No timeouts, Carolina.
Carolina was aggressive on that last call. Brought Kuechly and another blitzer through that gap, but Andy Dalton found his outlet, his hot route.
Need to get to the 43 on 3rd and 3, and Sanu has it. And he's got the first down.
The tempo should change right now, Chris. You're under a minute now. Get to that 2-minute feel. The urgency in this offense has to pick up. You still got about 15, 20 yards before you can get into field goal range.
No.
Dalton in trouble, gets rid of it. Pressure, Roman Harper coming in from his safety spot.
Carolina, too, now on defense. You're not in a situation where you can allow them to get chunk plays. You got to challenge the receivers. You probably see some more pressure. You'll see some man-to-man on the outside. Because any big yardage here is in favor of Cincinnati. See what Sean McDermott has dialed up for this defense. See if they can keep them on this side of the 50 here.
Open. He's got it. James Wright, the rookie from LSU. There's a flag down.
Number 95 defense. The contact to the helmet of the quarterback. 15 yards will be added to the end of the play. Automatic. First down.
And that's exactly what I was talking about there, Chris. You get in this situation as we watch this contact to the helmet, grab this face mask, clear penalty. But your Carolina's defense, they sat back in cover 2 right there, a loose zone. And there's that hole behind the corner in front of the safety that if you don't challenge these receivers, a good quarterback could take advantage of it. Andy Dalton did it right there, made a great throw.
Well, you tack on the penalty. James Wright, that was his first catch of this game. A 24-yard total pickup. And now at the 16 of Carolina.
Come on, Russ.
34 seconds in overtime. Ball's loose. Andy Dalton back on it. One timeout. Mike Nugent, if you want to play it that way, is 3 for 3 today. He's made from 44, 38, and 42.
You don't want to. No, there was nothing out there. You just falling into the middle of the field, giving Nugent.
They're going to let the clock run down,
angle.
use their last timeout. And Marvin Lewis will line up Mike Nugent. An outstanding game for both of these teams. You can see why they lead the division. They've dealt with injuries, setbacks, overcome adversity. Their quarterbacks have toughed it out. It's going to come down to a field goal in overtime.
Not very often you get an overtime game that goes the distance, but you said it, Chris. Both teams, both offenses have been really good today, and they've set themselves up here. Cincinnati has for a game-winning field goal.
The big completion that set this up, and Dalton over 320 yards passing today.
He got what he wanted. He got a zone coverage back there, and you see Case on there in the flat. There was a safety in front of him.
Mike Nugent from 36 yards to win in overtime for the Bengals, and the crowd will tell you. They weren't sure. He missed it. He missed it.
All that work. Get down the field, Mike Nugent. Clear look at it. Great pocket. Shanked it wide right.
3 for 3 today, but when it counted the most, the Bengals and Panthers wind up tied. Unbelievable here in Cincinnati. It's a jungle out there.